Hello, I'm Matthew Kay from Beyond the Brick, and I'm here with Joshua Hanlon, and we're here at BrickFair Virginia 2015, and we're going to give you a little bit of a taste of what this convention is like. So we're going to do a little bit of a tour, just kind of walk around, show you all of the builds, all of the non-builds, and some of the trash cans and other wonderful things that you can find inside of this lovely expo hall. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get in there, shall we?
Before we start, we want to say we will try to talk about and show as many creations as possible. We do our best, but obviously there are limitations. We can't stop and talk about every single build for 5 minutes.
No.
But we'll do our best to talk about as many as possible
No.
and cover the convention the best we can for you guys.
And we might say that some builds are not as great as other builds, but who's counting, right? All right, so here we go. So as you can see, lovely doors, glass doors, very nice glass doors. And as we proceed in, we can see that they have a take one. So this is where the public will be picking up flyers about the convention. Very, very nice. And I'll be passing the microphone off to Josh at this point.
So then we'll continue on down this direction, and we're gonna start right here at space, actually. So start right here with some really cool space creations for you guys, with some really great ones. This is built by Joshua Brooks, several builds here, excellent landscape builder, really cool. He's got a tank, his boats here, the USS Barracuda in here. Then coming on down, you got Daniel Brooks, some builds by him.
Some wonderful, kind of mosaic-y type things, I guess, as we can describe them.
Yeah, so kind of, that's like the Shield logo in the back there and the Spider-Man logo, kind of mosaic type builds. And here's a neat little vignette type build from the Ant-Man movie. So if you saw that and you're a fan, it kind of depicts the scene when he jumps through the keyhole there, or attempts to jump through the keyhole. So that's a cool little scene from the movie.
A lovely build by Simon Liu here.
Yeah, that's a great spaceship. And then kind of along with that spaceship, you've got the big kind of... This is the several different Starfighters built by all sorts of builders here. You've got Simon Liu's contributed.
John Stevens, aka Steebles,
Yep.
Caleb Wagner, lots of different people have contributed here. A wonderful, wonderful collaboration. And as we can see, lots of little detailed spaceship creations is the term I'm going to use, basically sitting on these wonderful pedestals. So it's very just a nice, smooth collaboration, clean around the edges, lovely build overall.
And next to that, we've got another build here by Simon that's a cool build. It's built on a stand. So it looks like it's mostly built out of brick separators as well. So you probably got maybe 100 of those sitting around wondering what to do. Well, Simon built this cool little spaceship, has it spinning on this nice stand, kind of makes the creation look really nice. Then next to that is a cool stained glass Benny. If you saw our Brick World Chicago tour, you might have seen this build there. Really cool stained glass Lego type build there.
And do we take the time to point out that this orange creation is built mostly out of brick separators?
Yes, so that is very cool.
That is ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. The more I look at it, the more entranced I get. And then going on down, we have a different spaceship built out of a different color of brick separators. So now we have some green brick separators. And these, of course, are the new design of the brick separator with the half stud removal thing in the center and the little Technic pin on top. But this is the green version. And then here we have an older brick separator mold type. But just lots of cool brick separators being used in cool, creative ways. There's no such thing as a bad part. This really exemplifies
That's for sure. So moving on down here, some cool little spaceships there as well. This is kind of an interesting black and white tower, somewhat Technic creation there. Standing up on its own. You can see, you might see some different, trash bags and things like that on the tables as we come along here, because people are still getting ready for the public. We're doing this Friday night, so the public will be coming in tomorrow. So you might see people still cleaning up their tables a little bit, but some cool spaceships that were there all along that table. Let's see, right here you've got the battle on Xylus 6, little space station type build. Looks like he's got a bunch of BrickFair tiles from over the years.
Pretty cool tan base plate there with the tan plates. And then moving on down, we have a wonderful this just appears to be a Blacktron, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that, but it's a lot of black and yellow, kind of great color scheme there, very Blacktron-y, and it looks like a mobile missile launcher or something to that effect with some nice off-road tires. Very, very cool.
I like next to the left of that, if we go back a little bit, just want to point out this Cosmic Enforcer there, built by the same guy who did the Blacktron build, is a really neat spaceship build. He incorporated like the wheels in there nicely. I love the colors on that one too.
And then here we have a wonderful build by Adam Hollings. This is, I'm going to say Mizara times 500 Silver Dart. But Silver Dart, as we can see, we have some nice little chromed wedge pieces here. And so this is just a really odd piece to kind of incorporate into creation. So it's almost like you have to kind of build around that part, you know? And obviously this builder has done a fantastic job of doing just that.
And behind that is the Templeton's Flying Circus. And this was built by Nathaniel Shields. It's built from scraps of abandoned shipyards, according to the mock card in the builder here. So there's kind of caged animals there. You see kind of in the front portion on the platform, there's circus, circus games going on, people buying tickets, cotton candy, things like that. So really interesting, kind of funny, different build there. And then real quick here, this is the Stardust by the same builder. Great spaceship there. Moving on down here to some more space creations. What do we got here?
Space creations.
Good stuff. We got a big, what is that? The Interstellar Battle Cruiser, Celsius, I believe it's called, in the back there.
It's interesting that you know that, Josh.
It is. Luckily, the mock cards are here to help us out so we can identify these cool creations.
That's great.
And then some smaller builds, kind of micro. You got little tank, kind of military builds, some spaceship stuff. I love that. The green emerald biplane there in the back is really great as well. A couple interesting planes there.
So now what really kind of strikes out to me here as being fantastic is just this artful incorporation of color. So we have yellow, red, green, and so these colors just kind of contrast beautifully. So it's just wonderful to see that assortment of colors in close proximity to each other. And then moving along, we have a wonderful M-Tron kind of base here. So this is the M-Tron Magnet Factory. And as a build overall, it's very easy to kind of tell the overall design like schematic. It's just a very kind of logical looking build, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But what makes the logical looking thing or looking thing about it, I'm kind of stumbling over my own words here, is the fact that it's greebled beautifully, like the interior gray detailing and the overall kind of form to it. And it's just like the complexity mixed with the simplicity just really kind of stands out. And just overall, you really can't say enough good things about this build. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful build.
I think Matthew summed that up perfectly, so we'll move on down to the next creations here then. Got some more really cool spaceships. We got one in here that's kind of in a diorama almost with some texturing and nature kind of going on there with the vines and stuff. You've got a few more here built by, this is Daniel Rubin.
So Dan Rubin, Brothers Brick blogger and space builder extraordinaire. And one of the great things about Daniel's builds is that he is a master of color contrasting. And so I believe he has an artistic background, if I'm remembering correctly, but he's able to leverage that artistic background to kind of come up with amazing color schemes that most people would not be able to. So in this creation right here, we're able to see I'm not going to correctly name that shade of blue, but I'm going to say medium blue or something to that effect, and brown and orange. And so the contrast of that is just brilliant, and they all play off each other very, very well. And sort of segueing off of that Daniel Rubin tangent we went off of, here we have a collaboration between Nick Kapatos and Daniel Rubin. And so Nick and Daniel are known to do many collaborations at BrickFair, and they've done several in the past, and this year's is it certainly lives up to their high standards. And we see that it is just a monstrous tower with lots of foliage sort of springing out of it. And I'm sure we will have a video interview with both of the builders in the channel for you to watch separately. But at this point in time, let's just take a moment to appreciate the motion using those train tracks that have been very well hidden by a very nice train. And it's really awesome that the whole train, there's no end. It is a complete circle train, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But we don't know what this means right now. But
it's open to interpretation. Yeah, we know it's an awesome build, and at the end of the day, that's really all that matters here. So this is really incredible, and you can see a lot of the landscaping and minifigs around it, kind of crude tents he set up, and then some of the cool foliage and stuff. Matthew is in awe. He can't get over it, basically.
I bow at the throne, sir. Mm-hmm. Very nice, very nice.
So then we'll keep moving down this direction. And what do we have here?
Here we have two builds by, I believe, Simon Liu and John Matz, and I believe that they created these two mechs. I want to use the word mech to describe these two creations in a combo build tournament here at BrickFair. And so they were able to combine a Friends desk pencil holder set, I want to say, and an Exoforce set. Or is it Exoforce?
Yeah, I believe it's Exoforce.
The theme, the long-lost theme from yesteryear, into these wonderful mech creations. And so here they've placed them on the table. No mock cards, of course, because they were built on-site. No pre-registration for these mocks. But really just a wonderful example of what you can do with a limited parts palette and a limited amount of time. Very talented builders, John and Simon. And so moving along.
Yeah, you got some of the micro builds in the back there. I'm not sure. Let's see. Those are really cool. It's like the Iron Mountain Legion, Dan Rubin again that we mentioned earlier, so some really cool kind of micro builds there, really nice use of color again to get all that. Here's John Stevens' Contemplation with kind of his infantry drone in the field of flowers there.
And what really makes this build wonderful is that the base of the creation is able to add a lot of context to it. So as you can see, it's holding a little flower stem, and there's also flower stems surrounding it. So without that, this would mean a lot less. But because the builder has included this kind of contextual information, we're able to kind of discern more about the creation. And so that kind of stuff is just, it's awesome to see.
Yeah, according to the mock card, it says the drone suddenly becomes self-aware, and as he holds the flower, it really adds a lot. So very nice build there. Moving on down, got some more by Simon Liu, the Teddy Bear Alliance, and their little mech suits there. And then let's see, down the rest of the way here, we've got this is come Apoca-Lego, so like Apocalypse type builds. Here's a Dead End build. Kind of little rundown shack, and then this is a really great build. This is Societal Collapse, and builder's first name is Cody, and he did a great job. The rundown look to this is just amazing. The roads, the buildings, everything, the way he's got the minifigs set up.
Very apocalyptic.
Yeah, and it's one of those things this has become more popular over the years, I think, but the way they do this with the broken windows and just the chains on the buildings, so these type of builds have so many little details to look at, and it's really neat.
And one can say that in previous years there certainly was more apocalyptic Lego here on display, and this year might be the weakest showing of Apoca-Lego BrickFair has ever seen. But this build kind of bucks the trend a little bit, and it's very nice to see Apoca-Lego at BrickFair. Actually, I believe BrickFair used to have an Apoca-Lego banner, theme banner for a specific Apoca-Lego section, but that's not up this year because there just aren't enough creations. So sharing part of the space island, but really a wonderful creation right there. And then moving along here, we see a nice little vignette kind of scene with a little bit of a torn off roof. Very nice build there by Anthony. Congratulations, Anthony. And then moving along here, we have another little torn down kind of wreck scene.
Some more in the apocalypse genre here. So this is still alive. So you've just got the one minifig on the roof, one walking, and kind of that really desperate kind of desolate feel to it.
And here we have a couple of base plates, and there was a gray thing on each side with the passage in between and a fence and some figures in the car.
It's like we got a bit of a zombie operation going on.
Apocalyptic thing, and there's some flower stems, and very nice. And then moving along, we have a nice little...
we got a Speed Champions box in the back, and then in front here is another apocalyptic type build. So it's cool stuff there.
And then here we have a half-eaten can of peanuts and a Lego store bag and a BrickFair bag and an almost empty bottle of Coca-Cola. And then we also have a box of Pop-Tarts and the remnants of some winter Lego sets. And here's some empty beer bottles, and here's an empty bottle of Captain Morgan, and here are some limes from Walmart. Oh, and wouldn't you know, a Lego creation. So check this out. Wonderful classic Apoc or something is the title of the creation. So a builder certainly aware of what their creation is. No indefinite title at all or something. But here we just kind of have just an apocalyptic scene. It's a building that's been ravaged, and it looks like people are kind of dwelling in the remnants of whatever this building was. And on top here, we have some car keys. So we can see that that definitely maybe might be like a giant just dropped his car keys on the building, and all these people are just I don't, who knows? There's probably some story at play here that I'm just not aware of. So moving along.
I feel like all of the junk on these tables goes well with the apocalyptic feel. You feel like, you might actually be
carnage,
in the scene.
Absolute carnage. And then coming along here, there's a Doritos bag, kind of nicely juxtaposing with some of the micro creations here.
This is Micro StarCraft, which if you saw our Brick World tour, we had they was on display there. So
hell yeah,
very, very good stuff there. And then kind of moving back along here, got some more space builds here. Almost finished out with space. Got some really tiny micro stuff there with their own micro stanchions, the micro little space builds. Then down this direction, I think is this all one builder here? What? I think this is Joshua Brooks.
So lots of wonderful microspace creations here by Joshua Brooks, a very talented builder. And he is the son of Gary Brooks, who is also a prominent builder here at BrickFair. So the Brooks family certainly plays together, as you would say. So a family that builds together stays together. So awesome Brooks family, awesome Joshua, awesome Gary.
Certainly true. And so this could be looked at as like the fleet of the future for the United States here. And so this might be what it looks like in a few hundred years or something.
And so here we have some lovely builds by Benjamin Paxak from Falls Church, Virginia. And so Benjamin is a very talented builder in many regards. And here we have some wonderful spaceships that he's created. So here's the Exuberant. So maybe there's some punniness to that we are not discerning properly at this hour. But very nice builds there, Benjamin. And then moving along here, some more builds by the very talented John Stevens. So as we can see, some kind of like Star Wars sort of chibi style almost kind of fighters. I don't really know why I threw chibi in there, but we'll just go with it. So continuing on, we have some, maybe this is like the remnants of the GARC display. So if you've paid any attention to Brick Fairs and Brick Worlds and Brick Cons and Brick Fets in the past, GARC are like little microspace vehicles that have been adulterated and covered, and adulterated is not a great word to use, but covered with stickers.
They've been made better with stickers.
Yes, and I'm probably not explaining it correctly, so shoot me or just don't shoot me. But either way, very nice to see GARC representing here at BrickFair 2015. And then moving along.
Well, just about finished up with space here. You've got the Beluga 2, cool little spaceship there, then the mini assault tank, and finally Epic City, which is like a micro space city there. So that's the space section there, and then we're going to move on down to Micropolis. So Micropolis is a really cool, this is the micro city type builds, and I think there's several people that collaborate on this every year, contribute different buildings, and just the variety of buildings they can get at such a small scale is amazing. They keep all the streets in there, different levels of streets, the bridges, rivers, so many cool little details.
And I want to say that this is, there perhaps are some other builders incorporated in here, but for the most part, this is the work of one man, and that man is Joe Miserandino. And Joe is just a titan of Micropolis, and he is able to churn out wonderful Micropolis builds on a very, very regular basis. So you can really see that his style kind of sort of fits around like just going high and going crazy. So lots of interesting sort of forms and shapes we can see. Lots of attempts to kind of break the mold of just building a square. So he has a lot of angle pieces being incorporated well, and setbacks, and all kinds of different wedges, and just really good color blocking too is another thing I'd like to throw in there.
A good example of that is this. This is the Cleveland Browns Stadium. This is actually built by Adrian Drake here. I believe he contributed that. He's got the stadium going over with the blimp, and just the great slopes in there and everything. It's a really great micro little stadium.
And another build I'd like to kind of take the time to sort of point out here is this one right here. And while this might not look like too much, this to me looks a lot like the Martin Luther King Jr. Library in Washington, D.C., which is one of Mies van der Rohe's last works that was built in the United States. So we can see it's just a very basic black on trans black kind of build, which is exactly what that library looks like in D.C. And I would hope that the builder maybe drew inspiration from that, or their mind is just as brilliant as Mies van der Rohe, the famous architect from Europe. So overall, just wonderful builds here in the Micropolis section. You can really stand here for a long period of time and just sort of take in these builds. So, but moving along, we will kind of continue, give you a little bit more pan shots of what this whole Micropolis layout looks like.
Yeah, and so it continues down here a bit more, and you got some more cool stuff there. Then down here, you've got, this is some This is Pocket Heroes by John Stevens here as well. So little micro heroes and figures there. All sorts of cool little guys. And back here, making an appearance in the tour.
Kevin Hinkle from you're with the Kinko's or FedEx?
Kinko's no longer exists.
Oh.
It's FedEx office.
All right.
He lost his job and went to FedEx.
Lego. He's the Lego. Oh yeah. All right. Well, nice to see you at the show, Kevin. It's just funny
Hey,
to bump into you there.
Thanks for what you guys do.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Really.
Awesome.
Very welcome.
Nice.
Did you guys just start?
Yeah, pretty much. So.
Okay, awesome.
All right. Badass.
How long
Nice talking with you.
This video is going to be.
Well,
Probably
we'll
like
see.
very long, too long.
3.5 hours.
Nice to make a
Something like
cameo.
that.
Hold on to your seats.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long ride.
Don't skip on ahead in this video. Watch it to the end.
Yeah. There you go.
Fantastic.
All right. If you have any wheelchairs lying around, we'd like to have them so we can be pushed instead of having to stand.
What if it's just a chair with no wheels and we just push it?
That would work too.
I'll work on that.
All right.
Okay. See what you can find.
Until next time.
Yep. Okay, so continuing back here, we were back at this Mega Minion, and if you notice, there is a cool little Beyond the Brick sticker in the Minion's mouth. So we've been handing those stickers out to people here at the convention.
Nice
fans.
of them to be so kind as to incorporate them into a build. That is awesome. Very cool.
If you come up and say hi to us at the convention, then you might very well find yourself with one of those stickers.
Here we have a nice little micro train layout, and as we can see, it looks to be just like any other train layout, but in micro scale version. So we can see it looks like some kind of, I want to say like a monorail station or something to that effect, and then there's like cranes here and buildings there and some grass maybe. So this is like very, very micro, but very, very cool. And then continuing on down here, we have an afternoon snack. This is by Ryan Shields, 15. So really nice little usage of those older dinosaur kind of pieces to kind of indicate like a serpentine kind of creature coming out of the ocean and swallowing a boat. Very cool.
And here's the Hinkle hammer. So we were just talking to Kevin. This was built by Simon Liu. Simon says it's cursed with the responsibility to maintain order in the universe, but occasionally our hero must lay down the law and lay down the hammer. So that's the Hinkle hammer there, kind of I think based on Thor's hammer. You might be familiar with that. So Kevin Hinkle does occasionally have to get serious with the community and lay down the law. And then continuing on down here, some more cool builds. Here's an AK-47 that's really cool. This is a life-size 1-to-1 scale, built entirely out of Lego, and it has a working trigger and bolts. So that's a cool build there.
And then coming on down here, we have a lovely sculpture by Mark Staffa. This is Sorcerer Mickey. So he's obviously using some of his magical powers to have that effect on the broom creature. I am not a big Disney fan. I don't know what the creature's name is.
Broomstick.
Shoot me again. And here we have another lovely sculptural build by Mark Staffa. This is Cinderella. So lots of wonderful blue here being used by Mark, and it's just really nice to see sculptures out of the context of a Legoland park or any other Lego company attraction, because building something with this kind of scale and this sort of size just requires a significant amount of skill and just the ability to kind of undertake something so large. And Mark has just done a fantastic job executing this creation. And then
next, we've got Adrian Drake's Tesla logo. So we actually made a video with Adrian talking about this at Brick World. You might have seen that already. This is an excellent build, really talented builder, and just a really overall great build.
And then here's, this is like a small building, little thing.
I mean, you almost don't even notice it walking by, but then all of a sudden it kind of pops up on you.
So I think this would be called the St. Peter's Cathedral at the Vatican or something like that, or St. Peter, what is it called?
I believe that's it. It's something like St. Peter's Basilica.
Oh, yeah,
yes.
That's right, St. Peter's Basilica thing with the church and the stuff? Yes, that's what
Just
this is.
a nice small little build here.
Small little church, very nice. And so as we can see, really a lot of minifigures here, a lot of 1x1 round tiles. And I believe that these are not stuck down.
They are not. It's all gravity just kind of sitting in there and just letting them slide around. They just stuffed as many as they could in there. And so
that is no comment on how long that would take to set up. That is insanity, but very cool. Very cool.
And the detail on this is amazing. They've got the statues, white minifigs with the statues, just everything, the columns, incredible build here with the red roofs and the dome. It's a really great job. So this is certainly an amazing build, and keep an eye out for this. We'll definitely have a video, more in-depth interview with the builder of this on the channel that you can look up.
And it's great that they've been able to use a custom table also, as you can see. And I'm sure that has nothing to do with the fact that no table here could hold this creation, but more to do with that's the table that they built it on at home, because someone needs a really big table to build that.
The tables here can't handle the awesomeness of this build.
And then moving on down here, we have some wonderful builds. Over here in the corner is the American Center for Physics, and this is a building in College Park, Maryland, as we can see from the mock card, but a very nice little architectural build here. And then moving along, we have a World Trade Center 1 and 2, and then right next to that, this is a Dulles Terminal, I want to say, and there is no mock card, but I just know that because I know that. So this is a Dulles Airport Terminal designed by Aerosarian. I believe this has made an appearance at 1 or 2 BrickFairs fairs in the past. But then adjacent to that is a model of the Udvar Hazy Center, which is a satellite association of the Smithsonian Museum of Air and Space. And it's about 2 minutes up the road here from the BrickFair event hall space. And this kind of exhibit hall, if you will, contains a space shuttle, a Concorde, all kinds of great planes, and it's just 2 minutes up the road. Some great, that's one of the great features, I guess you could say, about being here in Northern Virginia, is that when you're at this LEGO convention, there's a lot of stuff to see and do around in the area.
And we'd highly recommend, if you ever come to BrickFair Virginia, definitely visit the Udvar Hazy Center. It's incredible. There's, if you have any interest in planes or aviation, it's really, really cool. So then here's some more micro-scale architecture buildings to kind of finish out the micro area for us here. So then back this direction against the wall, we'll start with some cool mosaics. So first off, kind of just a small little dog mosaic built by Stuart Roll. It's Lily, so that is the name of their rescue. So that's really neat that he was able to make a mosaic like that. Then down this direction, this is I think the rest, a lot of these mosaics along here that we're going to be showing in builds are done by Arthur Gujic, very, very talented builder. This is the Great Wave, so you can kind of see the different textures, clear pieces and things that he's incorporated in there to get that wave mosaic.
And here's a really awesome kind of flexible mosaic, and this is Arthur's Lego cape mosaic.
Yes, so this is not your ordinary mosaic. This is an actual cape, and we have a video of him wearing it. He can actually put it on and wear it just like a cape. He's got the Joker built into the back of it there. It's held together with a really cool netting technique that allows it to be flexible but still hold together fine. And so yeah, that's just a really amazing build, the way he was able to do that. Some more of his mosaics along here, Mona Lisa. Then the girl with the pearl earring. You can see he uses lots of different kinds of pieces for a lot of these builds. Here he uses tiles with all sorts of textures on them and prints on them, like the arrows and control panels and things. Down here he's got Starry Night, which is just using a lot of the 1x1 pieces. Then some more kind of artwork and things he's done with his mosaics. Here's the Scream. We've got the Birth of Venus, and all sorts of some really cool mosaics that he's done. Now here's these next three here, I believe, are built by Sharon Vance, and she was able to do some really great mosaic work here. And breaking news, I believe Kevin Hinkle found Matthew, by miracle, got a wheelchair.
That's a great Lego creation, isn't it? Don't mind me.
So it is great that Matthew will be riding in comfort here.
Yeah, as wonderful usage of parts there in that creation, I have to say. I really just I enjoy the incorporation of pieces, and just it's overall just a very lovely build.
Great build, and yet it also lights up very nicely during the world of lights too. So then this is another one here. This is nominated Best Mosaic, Dragon's Lair, also by Sharon. So you can see all the gold in there, different textures. Great build.
A really wonderful build just because of the depth that's been able to be incorporated into it. So there's just a lot of depth to the build. It's sort of a lot of mosaics are just sort of flat tiles, you know, and this has been able to do something a little bit different, a little bit more interesting. And so moving along.
Yeah, we're gonna move out from that section there, get our cameraman out here. So coming around here as Matthew tries not to run over the pedestrians, we're actually going to go around this area here, so you might want to wheel yourself over here, try to avoid the trash can, and we'll make our way to this square here. So this is kind of a mixture of several different kinds of builds here, lots of color. This first one looks like it's from The Wizard of Oz with the different characters there. and Matthew's taking me out with his wheelchair over here. What do you think of the builds?
Very nice, very nice. And I have to say that it's kind of cool to have the juxtaposition of the large-scale Wizard of Oz figures next to the minifigure scale version. Sort of adds a little bit of interesting contrast. So I guess moving along here, we have some wonderful Spider-Man kind of inspired builds and some other DC/Marvel Comics properties. Josh, give me comments on those two figures there with the interesting heads.
Okay, so it looks like you got the Joker and then something like, I don't know what that, then the one next to him is, don't have a clue, comment below, tell us who it is, inform us, enlighten us, you'll make our day. Now, keep moving down here, you've got some more superhero type builds, a lot of micro type builds, things like that, Iron Man suits, things of that nature. We just lost Matthew to the ground. Okay, we'll just move on and leave him there. This is a Jurassic World build, and it looks like they incorporated the Dragons and the Jurassic World sets nicely in this build, along with the roads, and then some kind of classic space sets.
And so a really wonderful thing that you see here on the layout is the incorporation of these kind of retro old moon bulbs, or a moon base, like base plates. So the LEGO no longer makes these kind of base plates with these kind of raised rock patterns, but it's really cool to kind of see them on the layout. And then is that a pig and cow head there in the center?
I believe that is, so maybe something from Guy Himber's.
Shouts out to Guy Himber for that. Definitely, definitely.
Pigs and cow heads there. So some more cool little minifigs and builds here. Maybe it looks like some Doctor Who type builds here. And then this is like a black Star Wars castle, so kind of Star Wars castle mix along here.
Very nice. And then here we see a lovely haunted house set with a nice little surrounding. And then moving along here, we have a Lego mosaic with flower sprues. That's very nice.
Yeah, so they made the words Lego there with the shape of the flowers.
And then we have a nice Benny spaceship set, very nice, and a lovely kind of snotted in moon base kind of base modules. So these are sort of a takeoff of the 32 by 32 Lego road plates that were made previously, and these are just kind of like the next logical step forward, like the 2015 version of. So very, very nice.
Yeah, so continuing down here, some more moon-based type things and cool, some of the old retro windows and things like that. Got a Millennium Falcon build there.
Very cool, very cool. Lots of retro Lego sets here making an appearance. Just really wonderful to see this stuff in person. You know, this is the stuff of museums these days, so very rare that you can see all of this on display at once.
Yeah, it's really great. And so then we'll continue down this way and start along with some more mosaics here. You've got some different ones. I really like the Batman one there. Here's one that I think we mentioned in several tours. You might have seen this. This is the Batman slapping Robin meme. So meme mosaics from EJ Bocan. So you might have seen those in several builds. Here's a Betty Page mosaic, and then Bill Murray. Some really big. This Bill Murray one is really large mosaic there. One of the bigger ones at the show. Moving on down here, the Batman mosaic. I mentioned this earlier. Really great build. I always love the Batman themed builds. They look really nice.
And then moving along, some wonderful geometric pattern mosaics.
So you all sorts of different patterns there. You kind of almost mess with your brain type of things, and try to figure out the different shapes and things on those mosaics. Then here is actually a really cool cheese slope, almost stained glass type of thing. Cheese wedge mosaic held together purely by the tension of the bricks against the frame. So that's really neat the way they did that and kind of propped it up there. And
so this is something that a builder by the name of Katie Walker out of the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, is famous for doing. And so it's just really wonderful to see this done in real life. Because the photo online is one thing, but to see it in person and to see the way the light reflects off of the different wedges really makes you appreciate the density of the creation and the skill required to execute it. So
that's very true.
Wonderful build.
And then next here we've got a few more mosaics, a Native American blanket. This is an interesting one here. This is a build of Pablo, which is apparently the builder's friend. So they did a build of him.
And then here we have another build, the Sandman, also
Yes.
by Pablo Ramirez. Very
Nominated for Best Mosaic. This is an incredible build here. If you're a fan of Sandman, this is just amazing. It's very big as well. Looks like he used a lot of the gray kind of plates, angled plates and things to get that effect going on
and
there.
it's really interesting. I want to say that the angle plates were used simply because one always has a lot of gray angle plates that need to be used up. But then again, it does add like a nice visual interest to an otherwise sort of dead area of a mosaic. So sort of use what you got and do something awesome with it. So just a wonderful sort of pattern here going with the angle plates and the mixture of the old and the new light gray. Very, very cool.
And then down here we'll start actually a very long section of Bionicle here. So we'll start with a few of these smaller Bionicle creations, just move along here. Always a large showing of Bionicle at BrickFair Virginia. Bionalug really brings out the crowd here. A lot of really cool builds all along here. Here's a couple interesting ones with light up bases. So they've got kind of the water kind of rock effect that looks really nice. And then some more cool Bionicle creatures, a couple big ones here. This blue and black one is really nice, and the green one. And I most of the time do not attempt to pronounce the names of these because they are very hard to pronounce and I don't want to mess it up. So we'll just keep moving down this direction with some very nice Bionicle builds. And Matthew has been generous enough to bring his wheelchair back for me, so apparently, if I understand this correctly, I will just be talking about the builds while we cruise along at a nice pace, and he is pushing me. So we don't want to go too fast because our cameraman can't keep up. So stop right here at this BZ Power mosaic and admire the great scale of a lot of these Bionicle builders. And then keep moving down. Here is the Bionalug mosaic. So for, like I mentioned, Bionicle Lego Users Group. There is a lot of really good, talented builders in there. A great online community, especially as Bionicle has become more popular. They've seen their crowd grow.
And you may or may not recognize some of these Bionicle creations from our previous videos. That's because Bionicle, the Bionicle Lego Users Group Bionalug, is kind enough to transport some of their creations around to different conventions for their members. So even if the member is not necessarily present at the convention, Bionalug brings it to the show. And a lot of that is coordinated and executed by a gentleman by the name of Andrew Boltop. And just a really cool kind of program that they have going. And so here we're moving into another territory of Bionicle creations.
What we're going to do here at this point, at the end of this Bionicle table, is we're going to break off and make sure we cover this to the right here. We've got a square of really cool builds. We want to make sure we cover before we go too far down the wall there. So this is a build you might have seen. I think some of this was here last year. It's a build with a really neat lighthouse as well as some great windmills. Those windmills actually move. So really nice when they're moving. He's got boat and everything. The water looks really nice in there. And then we'll continue on around this way. As you can see, some of the builders still at work here Friday night preparing for the public. So still getting some builds set up. Here is, I love this building here with the curved roof. It's so nice. It's got like trans red and trans clear pieces. Just really cool the way they were able to do that, and then using the white rope to hold it all together. This is the Hampton Roads Lego User Group here. So there's a large Emmett model. Looks like it's the Emmett Awards. This is from Lego Systems, and they actually won the Emmett Awards here, and this appears to be their prize. So that's really neat. Continuing on down this way, got a nice little church here, and then the hard lug here with some cool little mountain scenes. You got the train track and everything. They actually use the tunnels to the left here for their trains. And a nice little cool castle there on top of the mountain. So really great kind of lug setup and things going on here, and finish out with the city over there. So now we will try not to get run over by anyone going crazy in a wheelchair, but we'll continue back down this way with more Bionicle creations. So again, some really cool different creatures and things that people have built here.
Leech, very leechy, and then there's another leech. So it looks like that worm from Dune.
It very much does, yeah. So if you saw that video from BrickFair New England, the Dune build, really cool stuff there.
So coming along here are the wonderful bionicle creations. Just keep on coming and keep on coming. And then I think we're at a decision point here. We could go all the way down and just keep going doing this row, or we could jump back over and do GBC real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump over.
Jumping over sounds like a good idea. So come over here. This is the GBC. There's a couple other builds mixed in, but for the vast majority here, it's going to be the GBC. And you probably have seen one of our GBC videos. We try to get one from every convention. The really talented GBC builders that work on this and really toil away at it during the public hours to try to keep it running for the public. Obviously, none of it's running right now, but you can see the modules at least, and we'll definitely make sure to have a more in-depth video of this while it's running, so you can see what it looks like when it's going, and all the modules are up and running, and the balls are moving through it, and it looks really neat. So you can see the different, sometimes they'll stop the modules and just go with train track to move from one part to another, get some monorail action going on, things like that. So it's just really cool stuff these builders are able to do. They even have more textured models like this with this is the old mill. So this is the second version that this builder has done. It's got the big mill wheel and kind of the log house almost there. And then keep coming down here. This is quite a large GBC here at BrickFair this year. So
lots of
really
very
cool.
jovial people here tonight. It's very nice to be able to spend time with the lovely convention goers of BrickFair Virginia. And here's Simon's lovely build from...
This is the Claptrap.
Very nice.
So yeah, this is from Borderlands, which you might have seen. We had an interview with him at Brick World Chicago about this build as well.
Wonderful. And then now we will be bouncing back over to the bionicle layout.
And once again, some great builds coming on down here. This is the Bionicle 2015 mask, though this is Andrew Barnick, Technic-based display stands for masks from the 2015 Bionicle sets. So you can see all the gold masks there. And then really great builds here coming on down. Here's some cool chromed pieces, masks and different Bionicle pieces as well. And then just about finished up here with the rest of Bionicle. I really like the big black build there in the back. All the different ball joints and everything getting used there to make a really nice looking creature.
And then kind of coming along here, as we see Bionicle has now ended, but what does pick up is a nice little smattering here of Arthur Gugick's architecture builds. And so, Arthur has attended BrickFair for the first time in a little bit of time, and so some of Arthur's builds here may not be the newest thing that he's built, but they are the newest thing for BrickFair. And so here we see an example of what the Lego architecture Sydney Opera House set should have looked like. And as we can see, Arthur says that this is a work in progress, but I believe that Lego bolt hole, which is what that piece is no longer in production by Lego, but I don't know if anyone's seen the Lego architecture Sydney Opera House, but those domes are not executed as well as they could be.
It was a bit of a disappointment. Many people weren't too happy with that build, but Arthur does a great job. As you saw, his other builds we showed you earlier are amazing. Here is one of my favorite builds at the show here. This is the USS Constitution. I've actually had a chance to visit this in Boston. The ship's incredible. I'd highly encourage you to check it out if you're ever in Boston.
As have I. It's a wonderful, wonderful little touristy haunt. Very, very interesting American history there on that vessel.
And the way the builder put in all the detail, just the shaping of the hull, all the cannon going across it, the masts and everything just is absolutely incredible, and did such a great job. This is Jack Bittner. So great job there, Jack, on that build. And then coming down here, this is a topsail schooner, another cool ship build there as well.
And here we have a lovely Star Wars scene with some Star Wars figures and some Star Wars vehicles. And then moving along, we have another scene with some Star Wars vehicles and a scene with a lot of dark green here.
Yeah, this one has some nice kind of texturing with the water and almost like a swamp look, and then the dark green to kind of give it that earthy tone.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. And then moving along here, we have a lovely little kind of shortened Titanic build, is what I want to call it.
It's almost like a chibi Titanic, almost.
Something like that. We're going to throw chibi into this tour as many times as
eventually
we can.
we'll use it in the correct context.
Cute twee, something, Japanese something, yeah. And then coming along here, we have a lovely incorporation of the Lego storage brick, and perhaps this is supposed to be some kind of ironic statement about a brick protruding out of the ground. I'm sure a little bit of this is missed on us right now, but overall a wonderful build there. And then moving along.
Next to that is actually kind of a funny build here. This is the Boston Tea Party, and if you notice in there, in the ship, there's the guys dressed as Indians and everything. They're on the ship, and there's a Lipton tea packet inside the ship. So he's got actual Lipton tea in there to represent the tea that they're throwing overboard there. And the builder says it was for his 4th grade project, so that's cool, kind of merging history with Lego. Next to that is the Westfield crew, which is a rowing team. I'm going to assume from the build. It looks like that's what it would be. So great little build there with some cool black and yellow. And then coming down here, some more ships. These are some Coast Guard ships. Really great coloring and everything on those, the texturing of the holes. And then, so this is almost kind of a apocalyptic build again here. It looks like there's a few in this area as well. So then you've also got this Transformers G1 Starscream there, and then maybe some custom minifigs here. So yeah, there's actually some really cool, looks like Dark Knight minifigs in there with Joker and Bane and things like that. And then finish out this area here is the attack on the Clone Factory with some cool Star Wars builds there. And next we're going to move back down this way here. We want to make sure we cover everything for you guys, so we're going to hit this square of builds right here. So start us off, Matthew. What do we have right here? Keep moving down here. I guess we'll start actually right here with some Zelda builds.
I believe right here we have a gun, and then right next to that, Sam Fisher goggles. Very nice goggles. It looks like they might actually be wearable by a real human.
It's like it's from Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, so they're kind of a really recognizable part of that if you are familiar with that.
Very, very nice. And then next to that, Lego Zelda build. Very nice to see Lego Zelda. And if you know anything about Lego Zelda and Lego Ideas, there have been quite a few Lego Zelda projects on Lego Ideas / Kusu.
It's just a little bit popular.
Just a little bit popular, and it just seems like it just can't happen, so we're just rooting that something Lego Zelda does happen with Ideas or some other Lego something sometime in the near future.
And then here's a cool, this is Modulex, so it seems like you always run across at least a little bit of Modulex at every convention. So this is the small little discontinued Lego that was made for architects to use, little bricks. So this builder has made a little mock that says Modulex is real Lego, so don't knock it just because it's smaller. And then next to that is this really cool Settlers of Catan. They've got like the box and then kind of the tiles set out and the castles and roads all built from Lego. So that's really great. I would say Settlers of Catan is an integral part of any successful Lego convention.
Yes, there's a lot of board game activity at any Lego convention that you go to, and BrickFair is no different. And then right next to that Settlers board, there is a Nerdly Skrillex. So if you know the artist Skrillex, dubstep, boo boo boo, I'm not terribly into the genre myself, but I am aware of it. Skrillex is one of the major artists of the genre, I want to say, and that is a Skrillex Nerdly. And Nerdly, of course, is the Brick Nerd mascot. So very nice to see Brick Nerd representing and the artist Skrillex making a somewhat of an appearance. Cool. Very nice.
Great build. Okay, so this is Half-Life 2. Some smaller builds from Half-Life 2 there, but great little builds as well. Then coming down here, you've got, this is Plants vs. Zombies, so famous game there. This is built by Danny Walker, and so interesting little build there with the plants fighting the zombies. Coming down here, you've got some kind of underwater builds. Little things there. This looks like it might be based on a real building, the Charles Adams family. Oh, this would be the home where Charles Adams grew up in New Jersey. So got all sorts of spooky spiders, cobwebs, things going on there.
Very, very nice. And then coming along here, we have an elves build. And elves is something that has recently become a theme produced by Lego. And it is nice to see a elves mock. So very, very cool.
Yeah, that is a great little Elfland mock there. Moving on down here, How to Train Your Dragon, The Village of Berk, and Volcano Island. So if you've seen that movie, really popular movie, you might recognize some of the characters and the dragons here in this build. Keep on moving down this direction. We've got some really great builds, and it just so happens, conveniently, the builder is standing here by his builds. So we're going to have him give a quick rundown of what he has here. You know, we won't take up too much time of your tour, but you know, you can give a quick rundown.
Okay, so I'm in the Phantom of the Opera, Phantom of the Opera's lair, and I drew inspiration from the original movie, the Broadway show, and the Broadway movie. Okay. And so I took a scene from that, and the custom Phantom of the Opera is made by Ross, or Michael MGF, MGF Custom / Reviews. Check him out.
What else do you have here then?
Battle of Mustafar from Star Wars, which is the volcano planet, and I had it last year, and I took it back and I finished it, and yeah.
Nice builds.
Very cool. Yeah, thanks for talking to us about those. Appreciate it.
I'm also turned
And then moving on down here, some more cool Star Wars type builds and things. Really great stuff. Here's a large Star Wars battle taking place. Yeah, some green base plates, you know.
Figures. And then coming here, we have a Normandy build.
These are two Normandy builds, actually. These are insane. Yeah, this is, let's take a look at the mock card. This is Steve Huchard. I probably am totally pronouncing his last name wrong. I apologize, Steve, but your builds are incredible.
Very, very wonderful. And Steve is someone that we saw at BrickFair New England. He is from the northeast region of the country, and Steve has been kind enough to come down here and spend some time at BrickFair Virginia. And so Steve, it appears like he has altered slightly, I want to say, the builds from New England, and just kind of gone above and beyond and just done some more crazy stuff. But Steve is definitely a builder in his own league or something to that effect. But wonderful to see Steve's builds here.
So yeah, those are from the Mass Effect games as well, if you aren't familiar with those. Some smaller Star Wars builds as well. This is actually, we had a chance to talk with this builder. Really enjoyed talking to him. This is, his name is Joshua. He's 10 years old, and he brought some really cool builds here, all the way from Montana, actually, which is quite a distance. So really great that they were able to make it all the way out to Virginia here for BrickFair. And then this is the final battle, another Star Wars little battle going on with some cool trees and stuff. And then here you'll notice this is a covered up build for whatever reason.
Some builders stuff to be touched.
Yeah, I mean, they just go to all the trouble of setting it up.
Respect it and just move on.
And just cover it up. So you might notice that as we go along, some more covered up builds. Here is actually, this is Arkham Asylum. So this is a great big custom Arkham Asylum set. The Lego has made official versions a couple times, but
several people have done some different Arkham Asylums before, but this is a very nice take on the Arkham Asylum.
And then
here we have a nice little Star Trek build. This is like a big kind of figure. It looks like one of those bricks of character Ian Heath type of builds, but very nice overall. And then directly adjacent to that, we have another Star Wars scene.
Yeah, this looks like it's got some great kind of tree work in the back there, almost like a cone shape on the trees, which is very interesting the way the builder does that, and like a beach landing there. Oh, and here's a really big, I believe, a Battle of Hoth, which is kind of you see a lot of scenes like this out of Lego. So got the whole thing. It looks like he's got some cool blue kind of light up lightsaber weapons going on there as well. So he's got some light action going on in this build. Then around here, Indominus Rex cage. So you've got some more kind of dinosaur themed builds. Stormtrooper headquarters, which also looks like a Stormtrooper helmet. So that's a really fun little build there.
So like that Star Wars Millennium, was it though? You know, this Death Star with the minifigure playing action inside of the creation. Very cool. Very cool to see that. And then coming along here, we have a wonderful another one of those kind of bricks of character style build, large scale figure with a scene surrounding it.
This is from this is 221B Baker Street, which you might recognize that as the home of Sherlock Holmes. And so this is based on the Sherlock TV show. All sorts of cool details down to the carpet, the wallpaper, the couch, table, books, fireplace, you name it. This captures all the cool details. If you're a fan of the show, as I am, I really appreciated this build, and we did have a chance to talk to the builder about this, so keep an eye out for more in-depth video on that as well. You should be able to find that on the channel.
And then moving along,
here's some more covered up things. This actually, you'll notice, might be a lot of vendors. So what we might do is just skip that, since that's all vendors, and just keep going to the builds that you want to see.
we know you like vendors and we know you like seeing what's on sale here, but unfortunately a lot of the vendors have covered up all of their stuff with black cloth, so there's not much to look at. But there are creations over here.
Yes, awesome creations that we know we really want to show you. So starting right here, we've got several of the builders that worked on this. So do one of you want to give a quick rundown of what this build is? Okay, you built the median. You want to give a quick overview of what this is?
All right, so this is a Halo mock. It's predicated upon the Reach one we did last year, but I think it's, let me just see this.
We read off the names of the card.
Numa Masa, built by, it's a collaboration by the following members of Flickr. Okay, so it's basically a city. You'll notice there's some streets going down the middle. I think it's pretty cool. I did most of it, but he also helped.
You seem intimately familiar with the build, so thank you for that information. Has anyone else worked on the build here that can enlighten us? Okay, you did one of the buildings at least here.
Over here. So basically I just put 4 panels. It's pretty solid on the inside. There's a big support beam kind of branched out, but just 4 panels on the side. Pretty easy build, not too hard. And then I did a road section as well, along with like 10 other people, of course. But,
okay, so
yeah.
next to this big Halo display then, real quick, is a Destiny build as well.
Yeah, he would like to explain this
Okay, apparently we have an explanation for this build here.
This is Gettysburg today. That's the only mock that we made.
This is Gettysburg today.
All right, this one is very good. Okay, did you want to read this, Patrick?
Oh, yeah. I worked on this by myself. And, the way I describe it, it's really an arrangement of bricks in a semi-Dadaist yet conformative manner, echoing Gothic construction rather than opaque surrealism. So that's pretty much it.
Okay, so that is quite something there then.
Obviously no thought was put into describing that Lego creation, but you know, whatever, right?
We will move on from there. Thank you for your wonderful help in describing them. So something great about, as we do these conventions, you might notice most of the people have cleared out because we do these usually pretty late at night, and we're usually into 2, 3 a.m. by the time we end, but there are still a few builders sticking around, so we do occasionally run into builders by their builds. So next here we've got several cool Star Wars
scene. This is really a wonderful, and it looks like this won Best Military Vehicle at BrickFair VA 2014. That right there, so very cool, very, very cool. And then adjacent to that,
we've got, actually, if you're a fan of the show Bonanza, which might not appeal to the younger crowd, but some of the older crowd out there might have watched this show. You've got the whole house and area from Bonanza here, the Ponderosa. So this is the Cartwright's Ranch and everything right there. So if you're a fan of the show Bonanza, you might recognize that. And moving on down here, we come to a giant. This is, I believe, the Battle of Endor. So you might recognize that from the Star Wars movies. So the builder has so many details in here. The cool ships and everything with the nature of the trees. He was able to capture that so nicely. This is just a really, really huge build here. Good job. And you might, did you build this here? Yeah. Okay, so the builder's actually with it. If you want to take just a few seconds here and give a quick overview of what your build is here for us.
Thank you, come help me. So we built Battle of Endor. And we actually started it from the set that you can get, the Ewok Village set.
Gotcha, so you kind of based it off of that.
Well, we did the middle one, and we expanded it out, broke it out, and we wanted to have 3 scenes, so the landing platform scene with the UCS shuttle, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to get the AT-AT Walker up to scale, so we did. Landing platform, that's version 3.
Okay, so it took a few tries.
Yeah. Shuttle's been broken a few times as well, so, but it's a still fun build, and Zay, my son's done a little minifigures. There's some cool features. We've got a little Rapunzel tower back here. We've got some other little guy having a McDonald's. So, but yeah, wanted to have as much fun with it as we could. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, you guys did a great job with this, and I love the layout there. So thanks for talking with us real quick about that. So moving on down from there, you can see a whole bunch of custom minifigs, and you might notice here at BrickFair Virginia versus pretty much any other convention, the custom minifigs are very popular here. All sorts of really well done custom minifigs make an appearance. So these are done by Shiloh Parker. We want to give a shout out to Shiloh. He's an awesome guy. We really appreciate what he does in the community, and his minifigs are just incredible. So many great ones, and he'll probably get upset at me later because I don't recognize a lot of what he does, but I know he's very talented, but the characters, I don't always know what he's doing. I know he's got some Legend of Zelda, some Mortal Kombat, and some Final Fantasy figs here. He's big fans of those.
And here's something that might be completely unique in the universe. John Lazar, a very talented, multi-talented individual, lots and lots of different things John does, but one of them is painting Friends figures and making them into amazing pop culture icons. So we pretty much see like every major character from every major intellectual property ever. We have Star Wars figures and all kinds of Marvel properties, and just amazing the variety of stuff that John has been able to do here with these Friends figures. And then moving along.
And yeah, so some more great custom figs down here, all sorts of talented builders. Then here's actually a Sonic the Hedgehog build right here, so kind of breaking up the custom minifigs. Then here's Batcave 2.0, all sorts of cool little minifigs in there. Here is Ross, MGF Customs. You might recognize him, had him on the show. You might have seen him in a video or two of ours. He's got his, is this your display case right here? Okay. This is his figures right here. So all sorts of cool stuff. I recognize some Ant-Man figs there, all sorts of cool Avengers figs, things like that. So another very talented customizer there. Thank you. And moving down here, you got some more cool custom minifigs. And what is this?
Batman build
That's
there.
That's a very interesting build. The way it's almost like forced perspective type with the clouds built in. They got like the green hair piece as trees. Yeah, that's interesting. So that's Matthew Hawker.
Artistic kind of decisions have been made.
Yeah, the way they had to scale that up and down for each level in the sky and everything is really cool.
And then moving along, we have some lovely dioramas and another display case full of some wonderful custom figures. And then coming along here, we have a different a Halo 5, Guardians of the Galaxy, and New Gods display case of minifigures. Really awesome custom figures here at BrickFair. And then moving along even more, we have some wonderful creations, little dioramas and stuff.
Here's Beatles Abbey Road. So again, like micro stanchions around it, and that's obviously the famous Abbey Road photo there. So cool little build of that.
And then here we have a wonderful Bob's Burgers mock. If you're familiar with the show Bob's Burgers, it's becoming kind of I want to say like a cult hit or something to that effect, but I think it is more or less entering the mainstream at this point. But a wonderful build here by Kodiak Sanders. And then adjacent to that, we have another wonderful build.
This is Bob himself.
Bob himself. So lots of little Bob's Burgers mocks kind of making themselves known here. And then coming along, we have some wonderful little creations.
This is Piano Guys. You might have seen our videos last year. We talked to the builders of these. This is based on the Piano Guys songs, obviously very popular musicians on YouTube, and have really some incredible music they've put out. So that's based on their work. Along here, this is Optimus Prime ambushed by Decepticons. So you've got a whole big battle going on here with Optimus Prime fighting for his life in that scene.
And then coming along here, we have some other wonderful creations, just lots of interesting intellectual property, different pop culture, I guess would be the area that this is. Just interesting stuff. And a lot of this stuff is, I would say, best appreciated in person because you can kind of sort of get the nuances and stuff. And here's a wonderful Walking Dead layout.
So if you're a fan of that show, this is great. They've got a little mosaic. This is Walking Dead, the barn, zombies, everything.
Definitely. And here in the background, we have a little slideshow going with some different photos. So maybe to give reference points. Very, very nice. And then here's another little TV tie-in kind of diorama. This is River Monsters. Very, very cool River Monsters build there. Awesome. And then over here we have someone by the name of Pugnacious 10 doing some shooting.
Oh, hey, I'm just training. We gotta train the children of tomorrow how to shoot. You know, you never know when the zombie apocalypse is gonna happen. Here is our Rick Grimes in training. Exactly.
I concur with that point.
That's what we teach our students here. Batman could go bad any second. We're using him for target practice over here. So, yeah, this is our latest student. He's a genius in progress, and
I see he's loading his ammo in backwards, so I can see what you're talking about there.
Yes, he's doing fantastic.
okay.
I understand.
Exactly everything he says. It's just golden. You got to have a whole journal of what he says. It's great. Okay.
This is pure gold.
Thank you.
We'll leave you to your target practice. Keep moving down this direction here from the target practice area to the Eclipse graphics booth. So very large Eclipse graphics booth here. All sorts of cool things for sale to the public, and always a very popular booth with the things he sells there. So, and down here, some more kits he's got there and everything. Minifigs on display for sale as well. Really cool stuff there. And what we're going to do here is we're going to come back and make sure we hit these sections here. This is the mixed section. So as the name would imply, it is just a mixture of all sorts of really cool creations built by some great builders. Starting off with some hot rods here. Built by Dennis R. These are some really interesting builds. Got some yellow, black, gray, the great coloring going on there. The way you use some chrome pieces and things is just really great. The curvature. These are custom hot rod he has built. Now down here you've got, this is like a little kind of castle scene. This is actually Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So if you're familiar with that, you might recognize some of the stuff from that in this build. Then some more. This appears to be an old, maybe looks like it's being used as a Ninjago stadium. So for like Ninjago fights there. That's the Spinjitzu Battle Stadium for 2015. And then brick battle map. So office building there.
And then if you're familiar with our Brick World Chicago coverage, you'll know that Toro Lug, the Toronto Lego Users Group, is very, very known for doing minifigure habitats. And so their idea was to create a habitat, like a little scene vignette, for every minifigure from the collectible minifigure series. And so at BrickFair this year, they decided to have an open collaboration and sort of expand upon that and just kind of allow someone to do a habitat or a scene for any figure that has ever just kind of come across your Lego building area. So it's just all kinds of cool like little vignettes here. You can see some really inventive scenes and just all kinds of cool stuff happening. I can't really point out anything in particular that I find attractive because so much of it is just really, really amazing.
Yeah, and there are some great ones. You've got like the swimmer, the diver. Here's there's actually a little Ant-Man vignette, so it's like a big giant, large minifig leg coming down on tiny Ant-Man.
Oh, that is really creative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is really a neat idea. And here's a Dragon versus a UFO, kind of a daily sight for most people.
And a Lego fish tank, so like a little fish tank scene, Lego fish tank scene. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. And then a building complex. You've got this is the House of Nom Nom. Apparently brought a Harry Potter game to share with everyone. Hogwarts expanded game.
Cool.
And the bow and arrow here it's got a great green arrow, black bow. So even uses plates for the string.
Awesome. And then coming along, we have some interesting Bionicle creations. This is the mixed section after all. So all of the stuff in here is just kind of uncategorizable because BrickFair does all of their layout based off of categories. So creations are placed in the area in which they fall, not by club or group or clique or whatever you would like to say. So this is just an assortment of some builders' creations that just were kind of uncategorizable otherwise. So throw them in here. Awesome. And then coming along here, we have a large sculpture.
We cannot reach a consensus on what this is, so if you want to guess in the comments below, go for it. Be our guest. We have no clue. Some kind of arch type build. It could be many different things. But below that are dual guns. These are two exact copies of the same gun. So the builder wasn't just happy with one, he wanted two that looked exactly the same.
Definitely. And then coming along, we have some more wonderful builds here. This is a moonlight kind of starry scene, and unfortunately it's not lit up properly now, but if it were, you will be able to see what, Josh?
There is a black light in there that usually lights it up, and we'll do our best to show it to you, and it's got like the whole day and night in there, so it's got the kind of the sun setting and the nice water scene. It's almost like I believe Shiloh Parker compared it to camping and looking up in the sky at the beautiful sky while you're out in wilderness and nature enjoying camping. So
definitely. And here is a Lego drum kit, and I believe it is as simple as that.
Yes, it's the first ever drum kit. This is built by Brian Melick, and you can see there's still part of the drum, like the inside of the drum is still there, but the round part is all built out of Lego.
And as you can see, the builder has not taken any time to create any branding materials so that you know what it is. He hasn't created little postcards that you can take home so that you remember his creation, and he also hasn't created a canvas frame giving information about his build.
It most definitely does not tell you how many bricks are in it, so
nope.
No clue.
Nope, very interesting that he hasn't decided to do all of that. And then continuing on down, we have an ice hockey rink.
Yeah, that's the Lego Garden, I believe. So Toronto Maple Leafs, looks like, yeah, it's a Canadian builder. The old Maple Leaf Garden.
Very nice. And here's a lovely Lego mosaic and an angry kitty and a model of the Lego store.
And yeah, you've got Do Not Touch. Bad cop is watching, so you never know what he might be watching. So you've got to be careful around these creations.
And here we have a little spaceship made with brick separators. And then here's a little Star Wars / Jurassic Park / dinosaurs / Simpsons / Minecraft / a lot of stuff layout. Very, very cool.
And then this is the Minecraft chicken. So nice, cool little build here. And then finishing on down around here, almost done with this part of the mixed section. There's actually 2 different sections here. We'll move on to the next one here in just a second. You got this. This actually looks like this is a Lego version of a Volkswagen here. So cool little build with that. Very interesting build. They've even got photos showing kind of what they based the Volkswagen off of, a real life version of one. I love the coloring there. So that's one mixed section. Then there is another one down here. Matthew is ready and waiting to talk to you about these great builds.
Well, I just want to talk about this first 1x2 plate, and it's made by Chris Berneberg. I'm probably not pronouncing that correctly. Sorry, Chris. Made from broken and dissolved Lego pieces, but not all ABS. So somehow he's broken these Lego pieces up and dissolved them slightly and coagulated them into this shape. And that looks like a 1x2 plate. So that's like almost like art. Like, I mean, it is art. It's just a creation, but it's like more of sculpture, but it's like made out of Lego, but it's not. There's a lot of things going on there.
That's the kind of thing you find on the mix table. Like we said, there's just, you know, you can't really categorize that build there. It's just really interesting. And next to that is actually some really cool little like micro books as well, like a Friends book, Space book, Dead End. So that's really neat.
Here's a build, Your Brain on Lego. So very nice.
It really messes with your head.
That's a pretty good title.
So then moving on down this direction, we'll keep going around here. Victor is getting alarmingly close from Eclipse Graphics back here to our cameraman. It's making him very uncomfortable.
Just doing it, Matthew. I seem to like, you know, photobombing, but this is kind of cooler.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, because it's emotion.
Yeah. This is emotion.
It's emotion.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm emotional.
Yeah.
Because I don't always see you guys.
I know, it's bad when we don't see you.
Yes.
So who knows? Who cares about Victor? There's Lego over there.
I love Lego.
How's your booth going, Victor?
My favorite hobby is
What?
Lego.
What?
How's your booth going?
It's a mess.
It's a mess.
You guys should come down and help fix it.
If we were doing a tour, we'd be all over your booth helping you fix it.
I meant the viewers.
Oh, okay. So you just want them to like jump right in and just help you out. That's enough of that.
Very nice, very nice. And here we have some exosuits on a base plate over here. This is the exosuit Lego Ideas set. Very nice there. And then moving along, we have some cars and a lovely Benny Spaceman set. Benny Spaceman, not set, that is a mock. That is a wonderful mock at that.
Yes.
Moving along, we have a little Minecraft kind of mosaic. It looks like a little 4 mosaics kind of pinned together. Very nice.
And then this is Rise of the Dread Colossus, an Atlantis mock. So kind of based on some of the old Atlantis type Lego builds. Here's some custom minifigures again. Like I mentioned earlier, really great custom minifigs always make an appearance here.
And then
Star Wars.
Nice Star Wars. We haven't seen any other Star Wars layouts here. There actually are quite a few Star Wars layouts here at BrickFair. Star Wars, as it is in real life, is very popular in the LEGO community as well.
And these are, I think, all built by the same builder, Jason Caparilla, and he is from Philadelphia. Does some really great builds here. He's got the Master Sword from Zelda, Swordfish from Cowboy Bebop, all sorts of really great builds here. Star Fury from Babylon 5 there in the back, and really neat stuff. And then next to that is, it looks like a Peter Pan series of builds here that kind of give some of the story of Peter Pan and have the actual Peter Pan book in the back there as well. We'll take a quick minute to show you this area here. Go under the banner into the stay and play area. Matthew will give an example of how this area works.
These are Lego pieces, and then they're in this bin. You take them out, and you build things like this square. And then you can take other stuff and
it just attaches right on there.
I just built something. And this is what this is all about. You come here and you build with Lego and you do stuff.
You stay and play, just like the description says. So fun times for the public there to enjoy a little building. Continuing on down these builds here, we've got this is actually a nice little pyramid build here. Really cool. The stairs kind of pop up, secret passageway and all of that. Then you've got Pharaoh's tomb, so kind of the big yellow pyramid.
Olympic rings right there, and some other concentric kind of rings, and lots of other cool geometric shapes, and a nice little wave. And then coming along here, we have some, looks like there's some motion involved with this, but it's not turned on at the moment.
And yeah, you've got a dented water bottle, which I think adds to the scene overall back there. And kind of all sorts of little vignettes, module type builds here. So this is Old Man in the Sea right here, actually. This is an old fisherman gets more than he bargained for. So yeah, there's a lot of movement, I think, involved with these, which unfortunately are not running right now. So it's hard to see what exactly all of those do. This is Desert Outpost, kind of that apocalyptic feel again. Really great job with the old overrun road, rundown buildings and things. And then some minifigure madness here with some custom minifigs that the builder has decided to display here at the show. Then lots of vignettes. These are actually in cases, all displayed almost museum style, look really nice here. Micro Gotham City, Minecraft, Let's Go Fly a Kite, and yeah, some really cool stuff. Looks like there are all sorts of builders that contributed to these little vignette type builds. And this is actually a micro version of BrickFair Virginia, so cool little build there, depicting some of the builders and creations.
Interesting Star Wars characters. And then moving along, we have some Star Wars characters. And then look, Minecraft characters. Very nice Minecraft characters.
So you might notice the mix actually eventually turns into a lot of like Minecraft and things like that end up here as well. So next, let's swing down this way. So this is kind of, you'll notice behind us here, you got the big BrickFair. They kind of put these around the poles to block the ugly poles. And then if we walk in here real quick, we'll show you, this is what's known as the bingo area. So if you have not been to a BrickFair event before, this is where they actually hold the bingo games. And they use Lego pieces to mark the bingo, but they also hold a lot of talks and presentations here, the closing and opening ceremonies. All of that stuff takes place here. Plenty of seating, large projector screen, mediocre sound system.
It's okay, it's pretty good. And then here we have a mosaic of the Capitol. That's not the Capitol building, that's the White House. I was testing you. Continue on. We have, this is called the iPad Tower, and this is where people can go to sign up and do stuff with iPads. And there's no internet connection on that one. It's not working, so don't worry about it. There's an iPad there, and that's pretty cool. Continuing on, we have the Lego. This is the charity booth, so this is benefiting the BrickFair Charity of Choice, which is the Slade Child Foundation. So here people do different Lego-related activities.
Well, to come around this side to show you some of those builds. There's a couple really cool builds here that are on display to help raise some money. So these are gumball machines, you've got a Starburst machine, things like that, and you put quarters in, and so all the money that goes in goes to charity, and then they actually work with Technic and everything to give you the gumballs and starbursts from the machine. So it's really cool, and all goes towards charity like we said, so it works out really nicely. And then this is nominated Best Theme, Tunnel of Love. Love is the theme at all the BrickFair events this year, so BrickFair Virginia theme is love. And this is, heart-shaped tunnels, a lot of love being spread around in this build.
And this is like one of those, I would assume that they're magnets on a track system below, and that these little gondolas are magnetized, and they're able to kind of move around on the base plate to sort of look like they're floating in water. Pretty cool. And then
that could very well be the case. Over here on this side, we've got a really, really unique, cool build on display here. I believe a couple of builders worked on this. This is the Lego house that is opening in 2017. It's a Lego built depiction of the house. So it's just incredible. And I believe, did Lego help support this, or did it get the bricks, or was it just builder decided to do it?
It is the Lego house, so yes, Lego did make this happen as it were, and we shall leave it at that. It is here and it is beautiful. And then continuing.
That's all you need to know. Continuing on down this way, we're going to start back here at the Okie Lug display. So this is actually a really great, this is the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Lego users group. So all sorts of really cool buildings all along here. The trains are really great.
Lots of great oil spills on the layout.
Not a lot of great oil spills. We try not to point out too many of those, only when absolutely necessary. Here's a Taco Bell, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Pizza Hut, cool restaurants there, and then some interesting, you got a clock tower, kind of cool trees and things build up around that. Around here you've got some of the modular buildings, things of that nature. And here's a pond that definitely looks absolutely nothing like an oil spill. No way anyone could possibly think that resembles one. But it is in the middle of a nice park.
But then, again, it looks like, aren't those the kind of pontoon things they lay out when there is an oil spill?
No, so you're just really grasping to the fact that that might be an oil spill,
Maybe.
So I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
And then they have a long kind of viaduct bridge here with a nice little train trestle. So very, very cool. And then it looks like this is their port area. So a little port scene kind of going on here, some cargo cranes, all that kind of stuff, and some lovely Union Pacific engines. And as you can see, I'm not the only person that thinks that these are pretty lovely. These, in fact, have been nominated for Best Train Car and Best Train Engine. So some really wonderful builds here, and these are just absolutely beautiful in the sense that they are, they almost look like they are die-cast kind of models. They just don't, they don't look like they're Lego. No studs really showing, really lots of attention to detail. Wonderful, wonderful builds. And now that we've taken a look at this Okie Lug layout, I believe we're going to sort of move on over here to this massive Boeing, I want to say 777.
It was just set up tonight, actually. The builders had this in. They brought it in during World of Lights and had to set it up in the dark here.
Yes, so it is a massive build, and it certainly is just absolutely massive. And as you can see, the builder is not shy about showing a few studs here or there, and we can see a little bit of corrosion kind of has taken place here on this part of the build. So this definitely, I myself have seen this at one or two BrickFairs in the past, and it certainly has made one or two appearances at BrickFair in the past. But really a wonderful build, just at a massive scale that you typically just don't see all the time. And then kind of jumping on here, I think we'll cover this this is the Charm City Lego Users Group right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've got some interesting stuff. With you start with the dinosaurs here. So obviously, with the popularity of Jurassic World, you're seeing more and more dinosaur-type builds.
Yeah, and I believe it was 1 or more years ago, the Lego company offered several of the Dino World, this was back before Jurassic Park was in theaters, several Dino World sets to different Lego users group for a building activity. So nice to see dinosaurs on a train layout, very, very cool. And a wonderful train bridge we're seeing right here. That is just a massive span, and as you can see, it is unsupported, so that is a real bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. So that's just a huge span there. I don't know, like 6 feet or something long. That's really, really cool.
Absolutely massive. And then here we have a nice little raised town section, and just wonderful to see some height on a Lego layout like that.
You can see the builder's still hard at work on it here, so maybe we could get him to give us a quick word. If you don't mind, would you mind just telling us real quick what you're working on here?
A platform and tunnels that the train goes through, and the city on top.
Okay, very cool. I think it's looking great then. So do you still have some more work to do on it, or are you finishing up?
Tomorrow we're gonna finish with the people and decorating, and we should be done.
Okay, gotcha. Well, awesome. Good luck as you continue to finish up the build.
Appreciate it.
Continue moving on around this direction so you can see some more of the trains and things there. Really great builds. And then to our left here, we should point out here, you might have seen this in some of our other past BrickFair videos.
This is one of the things that really makes BrickFair great, Lego games.
So yes, they've got like a Lego claw machine. So there are clear plastic balls in there, and if you can pick one up, you get some Lego. There's also some sets and things like that in there. Then here's like a little Tonka type tractor time claw that picks up some just bulk brick and drops it down in, and you try to win some of that.
And then moving along here, I believe we're going to be approaching some Fabuland builds right here.
Yes, I believe that's what this is. So Fabuland is one of those interesting Lego themes, maybe a little lesser well known. Some weird, maybe not weird animal creatures, but definitely different animal creatures in this theme, and driving vehicles, just living in houses. They've got even firefighters and everything here in the Fabuland theme.
Very nice. And then moving along, we have some lovely vehicles.
So it looks like they get a little scarce here. Bridge the tables here till you get to some real big tables here. The giant "Do Not Touch" sign built out of Lego, so they really wanted to make the message clear on what they wanted people not to do.
And if that "Do Not Touch" sign did not emphasize the fact that they do not want anyone touching it, there's a little card that indicates "Thank you for not touching." So thank you for, we are not going to touch it.
That is built by Charles Yon. It is, the name of it is My City, and apparently his city should not be touched.
And thankfully he didn't put any "Do Not Look at It" cards, or else we would just not look at it either. And here's a Lego Speedway, very nice Speedway build, lots of minifigures. It's just cool to see this many minifigures in one place at one time. And it's obviously like a Lego scale. This is kind of too small if it was like in real life, but in the Lego world you don't need to have a massive speedway that would be actual model scale. And so kind of coming along here, we have a little town scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's all sorts of details in this town scene. You've got the water at the front here, cool bridge and everything. Then you've got kind of the park with the paths, nice some dark tan going through the paths there. Then in the back with the city and more modular type buildings coming along here. This is the Eastern Garden, so almost like a Japanese type look to the garden there. And finishing it out along there, get some really great parts of the city. And then as we go along here, you've got some great train tracks going on, and some great trains. There's a classic train there set you might recognize. Then brick barbecue pit. This is the Emmitsburg Junction, quaint little town that has everything from a general store to a functioning lumber mill, built by Zachary Reynolds. So great build there. And some more of those types of cities here. This is the Yellow Stud campground. Got some canoes, some cool tents and things. It's like maybe some custom tents and stuff they made for that. And this is AFall Avenue, all sorts of minifigs, displaying all sorts of AFalls on the avenue. And this is fun in the 80s. So this is display taking place during the 80s, showing off the architecture of the 80s. You got like a little like gas station type thing going on there, maybe like 7-Eleven or something. Cool cars and things like that. And the minifigs representing the 80s. This is a walk in the park, and it's exactly what the mock card says. They're walking through the park, taking photos of creations, having fun on their day in the park. As we move down, there's a car crash, so you've got kind of the fire engine going, hopefully rescuing the people involved in the crash and saving them. This is the Inlet Lighthouse, Wildwood, New Jersey. So great little lighthouse there, right kind of going up against the beach here. Cool pier on the left, nice benches. Looks like a really great kind of water scene all along there. Here's 101 City Place, which is the Philadelphia, so you might recognize some of these buildings if you're familiar with that. You've got a Lego or Apple store there. You've got Lucky's Diner, all these buildings in Philadelphia. And then we'll continue down here, so get some more. This is the day at the beach, so you notice beach scenes here, sharks, that type of thing. Then you've got the Jets logo just kind of thrown in here as well, so built by that same builder, apparently a Jets fan. Foldable pink building built by the always talented Daniel Pecora, so really great build there. Then keep moving on down. Nominated for best train car, this is the Orioles train. So the Baltimore Orioles, they based it off of that. You can see the black and orange colors. Really great job from the builder there. They even have an Orioles blanket here on the front to really show how big of a fan they are. And this is some more cool builds here. This is Park Avenue, city of Brickshore Beach. So kind of a Lego city as well. Subway, Starbucks, even a Little Caesars to the left there, which is really cool. You don't see a lot of Lego Little Caesars buildings. And then under here, this has kind of a covering to it because there's some cool lights and stuff in here. Welcome to Neverland, beware of pirates, it says in the water here. And you've got the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the comic shop to the left there. Then over here you've got the big Luther Corp building, so just kind of all sorts of fun elements inside this build. And then here, coming down this direction, is McDonald's. It's really cool, so it's got some great windows and stuff, and then all sorts of fun details in that layout. And then we're going to actually come over and make sure we don't miss this center section here. So 1 second, make sure our cameraman doesn't trip on the stanchions, and we are going to start right here actually with some cool city layout. We've got a pizzeria, a bowling alley, and Krispy Kreme. The builder did a great job incorporating those buildings. Looks like there's a trophy from BrickFair 2008 actually, so must have been coming here for quite a few years. Military surplus, guns and ammo, all sorts of interesting buildings, great variety. This is an art museum with little signs advertising Art of the Brick by Nathan Sawaya in there. Great job there on incorporating, a famous Lego artist with the build. Then here's a park, monorail in there, Ferris wheel, concert, all sorts of cool stuff, cool details. And the Dulles Expo North Hall. This is gun show this week. So actually, every year before Brick Fair, there is a gun show that takes place in the same event hall area here as Brick Fair. So if you came a week early, you would be able to visit that gun show in this same event space. And here is Memorial Day. This is a really great, based on a World War I postcard. This depicts soldiers throughout U.S. history. So all sorts of time periods there, Civil War, Revolutionary War, to World War I for Memorial Day. It's a really cool little mosaic. This is the Big Apple. So it's the Big Apple Diner, inspired by train car type stainless steel diners. And so you might have seen a few of those in your time, inspired by those types of builds. Here's a modular Apple Store. Apple Store is always a popular thing to build out of Lego. Then here's building, and this is Benny building his spaceship. So you've even got some lights in the bottom there with it blasting off. And down here, some diesel locomotive. You've got some nice landscaping as well. Buildings here built by the very talented John Rudy, great builder from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. He does some great historical Civil War builds he's done. He also does these architecture buildings here that are just really well detailed and captures the look of some really nice buildings there. Coming along here, the Wacky Wheel, some kind of carnival rides and things here. Tilt-A-Hurl. Mr. J's Killer Ride, Joker's Ride there, traps and things you have to ride over. And then down here, kind of another little city scene, different buildings and things. Here is the 2015 Philmont Scout Ranch. So they've used some really cool kind of scout hats and everything, made it really look like Boy Scouts, some custom cool tents and things. They were inspired by attending Philmont High Adventure Base this summer, and there's all sorts of cool activities they're doing, from zip lining, horse riding. It looks like they're doing maybe some rifle practice down in there in the little shack there. So some target shooting, things like that. Then here's a winter scene with Salvation Army, sharing is caring. Great snow and all sorts of winter stuff. VFW here, really great military buildings there. Then the Olympic Training Center, it looks like down in here we've got some gymnastics, maybe some weightlifting going on, dumbbells, things like that. So this is the Warsaki Avenue Olympic Training Complex. And then to the left you've got the pool and diving pool, things like that, everything you'd expect to see at the Olympics. Here's the drive-in theater, and I think that finishes it out for this this area display, this square. So we'll start back up over here and make sure we hit all of these cool builds. This is the Battle of Santa Fe, day 6. So this is kind of a futuristic battle here. Down here, Battle of Saint Raphael. It was a crucial battle in Operation Dragoon, which is the invasion of southern France in 1944. So you can see they've got cool details like a crashed Jeep in the river. Over here they've got some tanks, some fire, things like that, and some rundown buildings. And then we will continue on down here and hit the Silo Heights, which is based off of the mission from Call of Duty World at War. So if you're familiar with that game, you might recognize that there. The Tekong Pass, part of the Battle of the Chosin Reservoir, so kind of a Vietnam type build as well. Coming down here, all sorts of really neat little builds. Operation Blue, Germans push into the southwestern Russia and the Caucasus region. Very interesting, all sorts of cool, talented military builds here. Little trouble in the warehouse districts. You got zip liners, helicopters, all sorts of nice details. Then this is some really great destroyer type ships here. Very talented Canadian builder that works on these by the name of Julie, and she does a great job with these builds. You might have seen some of her interviews in the past on the channel that we've done with her at other shows. Now we're going to, before we continue down the wall, I want to make sure we hit some of this stuff along here in the center section. So continuing on down this way, this is the Battle of Ramadi collaboration. I believe several builders worked on this. This is Ramadi, Iraq in 2006. So all sorts of troop vehicles and kind of roof urban type fighting, and really cool stuff there. And then down here you've got kind of soldiers infiltrating a little base there. Vietnam Patrol, kind of a pretty simple little build there with the boat and everything. This looks like a little World War II type build here as well with the bridge and everything. And then this is the T-Virus and T-Virus Antidote. This is created by Umbrella Corporation. This is from the Resident Evil franchise. If you're familiar with that, you might recognize those. Then a Field Infirmary, a mini gun turret, lots of micro little military type builds here. A Beantown Betty, which is one of the refurbished duck amphibious vehicles operated by Boston Duck Tours. So you can get a unique tour of the streets of Boston on a duck, and if you've never tried one of those before, I would encourage you to try it out. It's really interesting to try one of those amphibious vehicle rides. This is the Battle of Nancy. So it's the crossing of the river, and it took place during September of 1944. You can see the troops getting ready to cross, just getting into the water there, trying to cross over and get to the other side and assault the enemy there. Some more cool micro tanks and things. Then here's Simon Liu's Operation Olive Branch. Really great work he's done there. Got an in-depth video with him about that on the channel you can check out if you want to. And Juno Beach, D-Day. So D-Day is a popular thing to build with Lego. All sorts of builders have tackled that over the years. There's been a lot of really great scenes. And then here's the Rogues Convoy, so kind of going with a gray and orange, maybe a little yellow theme going on there. Desert Convoy enlisted to survive the apocalypse in the desert, equipped with tons of supplies, which I imagine would be needed in the desert. All sorts of planes here. You've got kind of some Rainbow Warrior type aircraft carriers in the back. So that's very interesting. Then in the front you've got like the F-16, different famous planes like that. Then on the left here, this is a really huge layout that is called Jericho, and the reason it's called that is because it's got this massive wall here separating the rich, somewhat elite and powerful here from the unwashed masses, as they might picture them, trying to get into the city, obviously, and out of their harsh conditions out here outside of the wall. So this is a Jericho build, and I love the way the builder was able to kind of put the wall and just have the stark contrast between the main city and the harsh conditions of the outside area. So very good job there. That's Justin Wolfman, and I believe he might have collaborated with a couple other builders on that as well. Coming along here, want to make sure we hit this here. This would actually be a good time to hit this center area here with some cool castle builds and things. We'll come right by here, starting at this incredible castle. This was so great. You can see he does a lot of tan work here for the outside wall, and there's several portions of this. So you've got the outside wall, kind of the curtain wall, and then you got a drawbridge that drops here, and that will take you into the main portion of the castle. And so there's all this tiling that goes around, which is like a moat around that. And then the castle itself actually opens up. The sections swing out on the towers. There's lighting in there. They've got torches, lighting around the water area. Just a really, really great build. Then we'll keep moving down this way. Next to that is the Elsa's castle from Frozen. So if you're a Frozen fan, you will probably definitely recognize that. Elsa, Anna, and the snowman and everything there. And then here's a really interesting, kind of pretty detailed castle using the kind of brick textured Lego pieces, and then kind of some smaller plates here, dark gray plates, so that you get that really nice castle look as well, with some nice texturing and stuff. Then down here, this is the State Gardens of Lenfold. So really incredible gardens, the way they have the statues, fountains, the leaves going there. Looks like it'd be a very nice garden to walk through. Here's a massive layout that's just really incredible. So much detail, so much to look at here. You could stand and look at this for a very long time and probably still not catch all the fun and interesting details in here. You start with the water. You've got some really cool ships, large ships, small ships, all sorts of different sizes of ships. Some are sinking, big battle going on. Then you've actually got like an island tower out there as well. And then you finally get to some land here, and it looks like there's an amphibious landing taking place, attacking from the back here. So they're trying to infiltrate them from the sea and take over that way. And there's a little keep there that they're trying to protect from. You've got kind of an area with the horses here that's being run over. And then as you move out, you see the wall here, and actually there's another army on the other side. So they're being attacked from two different directions, which must not be fun for them, but it looks like they are not going to be holding out much longer at this rate as they start to be overrun and the wall is crumbling. A lot of insane amount of minifigs. I'm not even sure how many are here. The builders might not know themselves, I don't know. But the way they displayed them and set them up is really nice. Really cool weapons, armor, all sorts of things like that. The builders did a great job with this display. And then down here, you just got a couple small vignettes, and then on to the Obsidian Citadel, built by Todd Butler, which is the home of the evil Skeleton King and his minions.
Lots of black, so great for contrast, right?
An insanely huge black castle, yeah, that just looks really, really great.
Very great. And then moving along here, we have a wonderful castle build with a blue roof. And by saying that, I'm kind of ignoring this lovely tree build here, which is, I'm going to read the title off there, Link's Treehouse Zelda. So we've seen some other Zelda builds around, and this is just a continuation in that theme. But a wonderful, wonderful build. It's nice to see all that foliage. But now this castle build is absolutely fantastic, and this is the Hyrule Castle, and I believe you'll be seeing a video interview on the channel in addition to the little bit of coverage we're giving right now. But it's really just a wonderful build in the fact that it has such a different design from most castles. So a lot of castles will use mostly brick to kind of build big walls that are square, but this one has taken the sort of I guess opportunity to just build a gigantic polygon. And so what is the cornerstone of the construction technique used here are these click hinges, which are readily available on pick-a-brick walls across the country in LEGO stores. And these click hinges are kind of stringed together to form these, once again, lovely polygons, kind of, you know, just a really interesting shape, not square, not blocky, just very organic looking. It looks like real stonework. And then the builder has also included these nice little kind of conical sort of roofs, and he's using a lot of 1x8 blue tiles, which is yet again another part readily available on pick-a-brick walls. So what we're really seeing here is just a wonderful usage of elements that are not terribly hard to find, but the way he's kind of incorporated them and used them, he's just really been able to do something that's truly next level, if you will. And then moving along here, this is something that you will know, you have seen before if you've watched our Brick World Chicago 2015 coverage. This is the Ab Sea Walker by Adam Hollings, 19, and this is just an absolutely wonderful build on so many levels. Some wonderful earth tones we see here, and the overall kind of design it's kind of minimalistic, and it's sort of it maybe is one of the few creations that is of this size that only has 3 minifigures in it, in addition to a little bit of a mech kind of sort of figurine kind of creation, but just I can kind of just spill compliments onto this build, and I would not be doing it justice. It is absolutely fantastic.
I believe that's from the Dark Souls game as well, so if people are familiar with that game, you might recognize this scene.
Yes, and as you surely know by now, Matthew, that is me. I'm not too good at games and other kinds of intellectual property like that, so I'm sorry. And as we continue on down here, a lovely departing for duty scene. Now, we see lots of different fall foliage here, so lots of interesting trees, and I believe these trees are made possible by Steve Burrill of Alt Bricks. So nice to see some different LEGO foliage colors appearing here, thanks to Steve. And then moving along here, we see some more nice little foliage and Alt Brick stems right there, and all kinds of cool stuff. This is the Countryside Windmill. Very nice, very nice. And then continuing on even more, this is I would imagine that the builder would be fine with me kind of giving it a spin. It's really nice when builders are able to sort of incorporate a kind of a Lazy Susan style base onto their creation, so that you can sort of spin and get a 360 view without having to pick it up and actually rotate it physically. So very, very cool. And then I believe we can continue on down here and look at this Hut in the Swamps build and give it a little spin as well. So you can kind of see the backside, you can see inside. He has some really nice little action going on in there. Very, very cool. And a nice little 32x32 base plate here, a little scene. Very nice. And then this is just an absolutely fantastic build in the amount of detail that has been able to be incorporated here. This is the Gardener's Cottage by Gabe Umland. And Gabe is really one of the talented builders of this hobby. And he is able to sort of just execute stuff that most people would kind of just throw up their hands in frustration. So he has a wonderful roof technique going on here. Lots of interesting stonework kind of being used here. A very nice little over door kind of arch pattern there. Just absolutely wonderful. And a wonderful window here, actually. I take the time to look at that. On Flickr, I follow several builders, and they're working on different kinds of cathedral projects and other sorts of historical kind of buildings. And it's just incredibly hard to execute these sort of Gothic arches, because LEGO, unfortunately, really makes very simplistic and geometrically pure arches. And only recently they've started to make those kind of irregular Gothic arches and other kinds of arches. But very nice build there. And here we're looking at the Arundo Castle, and this is by Nolan Wine. Nolan Wine. I thought it was white there, but Nolan Wine, very nice, very nice. And as we can see, he's fashioned a wonderful little base out of some plywood and with these handles. So he just has to get another person to help him, I would assume, and he can carry the whole thing in from his car onto the table. So cool to see a little bit of a custom woodwork being done there. And then once again, another small little beautiful castle creation. Unfortunately, that little Ziploc bag's in the way, but take a look at that. That is awesome. Wonderful, wonderful outpost by Benjamin Corey, 15. So a 15-year-old built that. What were you building when you were 15? I wasn't building that.
Probably not that good.
Awesome, awesome. And then here we have some lovely figures and a base plate and some big ugly rock piece. So that's the burp, and then that's the lerp. That's a little ugly rock piece. And then here's one of those old prefab base plates with some figures on it. So pretty cool base plate with figures on it.
Knights of the Lion Under Attack. So this builder's Joshua Fallon. He's 8 years old. So get some younger builders starting out here displaying their creations.
Yeah, and you can kind of say that, oh, that's not the greatest build ever, but you know what? That's an 8-year-old. This is someone, you limited resources, you don't have the ability to kind of just go out and build, some massive castle creation, but it's cool that he's able to kind of come here and see all the other cool stuff and just sort of get inspired, and it's just, that's the kind of atmosphere BrickFair likes to encourage. And what we're looking at here is just a wonderful floating rock, the Isle of Nuevens. And this is built by Paul Rizzi, 16. A very talented builder indeed. And a lot of floating rocks will kind of sort of execute the bottom of the floating rock and sort of taper it off and let it just kind of float in midair, but he's kind of continued the base down all the way to the table. So, and a little waterfall kind of coming off the edge. As per the conventions of Lego floating rocks, one must always have a waterfall falling off the edge. That's compulsory. And a QR code that probably goes somewhere we don't know. Interesting. I'm sure you could maybe point your phone at the video screen right now and maybe try and go somewhere with it. I'll move that so maybe it'll be easier. Any luck? No? No?
I hope it goes somewhere cool.
Okay, alright. Well, here's another creation. So this is the Fort Maud Le Raider. So as you can see, it's kind of an update of an old style Pirates set. So lots of yellow, white, and he's incorporated some newer earth tone colors to sort of offset those classic yellow-white combination. Very, very cool. Moving on down, we have some lovely rock work here in this creation. This is the Forian Tower. A very, very nice build indeed. Lots of wonderful sort of landscaping kind of interspersed among this rock work. Beautiful, beautiful build. And once again, a lovely custom base. Always nice to see that. And then moving on even more, we see a ton of Lord of the Rings rings. So these are rather exclusive, a little bit rare, I would say. But then again, they are readily available on Bricklink because every Lord of the Rings set, nearly every Lord of the Rings set, comes with numerous of these rings. And obviously this builder was able to get his hands on numerous rings, and he just incorporated them into this tree.
It's like a whole ring tree.
And it's the tree of life. How awesome is that? Moving along, we have a lovely little beach scene, and we see some 1x1 round plates being used to indicate the different changing color of water as it approaches the shore. So as we all know, water gets darker as it gets further out because of the depth, and so he's sort of indicating that here with these 1x1 translucent plates, which are readily available on Pick-a-Brick walls, fortunately. Moving along, we have a wonderful little kind of dinosaur animal build. This is titled Monster by Miles Longstreth. A very nice build, nice to add context to it like that. Behind that build, we have a really wonderful Gold State coach, and this is by Matthew Hawker, 29 of Pennsylvania. And this is, once again, we see those Lord of the Rings rings, and that's an element that only recently appeared, but as you can see, it is something that is very easy to kind of use in lots of places that you need to have something shiny and metallic. So, and it fits around a Lego stud, and it's just a great part to keep around. You never know where you might need it.
And according to the mock card the builder has here, it's actually, this is a real-life version of the ornate carriage built in 1762 for the British royal family. So this is actually based on a real-life carriage, and I love how they have the purple, which always kind of signifies the royalty there as well, with the carriage on top and the great white horses and everything.
Certainly, certainly. And here we have a lovely tree build, and we have lots of interesting Lego leaf colors. These purple leaves, I think, are recently available in the new Lego Elves line, so nice to see those parts making an appearance here. This is the Marjara's Treehouse by Aaron Tupfner. 31 from Baltimore, Maryland. Very, very nice. And this is a build I want to say I recognized from BrickFair last year. This is the Island of Asili by Nathan Shields, Fredericksburg, Virginia. And then this is, once again, just a wonderful build in the fact that there are studs going in so many varied directions. So we can see that the water is built this way, more or less. And then we have the base here going that way, and then we get here and it's going this way, and you get to the roof and you're kind of going that way. So I believe snot is the best thing you can say to describe this creation, just snot. And here we have another lovely floating rock. This is in addition to the other floating rocks that we've seen around here, but this one is unique in the fact that it has so much going on outside of the main rock.
Yeah, there's so much build on top of it. You've got the buildings and everything, and just so much cool stuff. It looks like over here the builder actually has kind of a photo album of different steps, in progress photos. Maybe flip through these here real quick. You can see, the structure in there is like red and yellow and things that he doesn't need, saving the gray for the outside. It's kind of photos as he build it up, the flowers and things, and just different detailed shots there. So that's really cool.
Very, very cool. And then coming along here, we see a lovely tree technique. I love this, kind of allowing the sprues to serve as a structural element, because you're able to sort of interlace the sprue of 4 flowers off of the stems to kind of create that conical tree shape. So just a really nice technique, and it's nice to see it executed here on this floating rock scene. And it's nice to have it sort of hang off the table. Very, very cute. And now we've come upon some swords, and they're not even swords. They're katana and wakazi. Let's just continue. Medieval crossbow. Very nice medieval crossbow, and easy to pronounce medieval crossbow. Very nice medieval crossbow. And coming along here, we have a very interesting Bricktonshire by Matthew Bowman. We're not just reading mock cards, we're just interpreting what we see. So a lovely Matthew Bowman creation here, and he's indicated wamalug.com as the address of choice, so go there to view his lugs creations.
Mm-hmm. And so yeah, that finishes out kind of the castle area for us. We're going to actually move back down this way and continue where we left off. And then you can see to the side here some vendors.
Just sort of stop in and check out. See, this is what's for sale here at BrickFair Virginia 2015 in Chantilly, Virginia. We have some lovely Lego sets on some food service style mobile racks. So lots of interesting Lego sets available for purchase by the public. Or the private people, and I'm sure lots of people do lots of different purchasing.
Here's the Brick Show booth here, so if you follow them on YouTube and are their fans, they have a booth here at BrickFair.
And so as you can see, we have some clear set prices, $130 for that set, such and such a price for that set and that set, but then as you get to the top, prices just vary. So I guess, they want to make some money on the set, so it just depends on your negotiating skills.
And that is usually the goal of selling them, so
yep,
should work out hopefully pretty good for them. So then here's some more, like we mentioned earlier, the covered up booths that you see a lot at these shows. Keep moving down this direction and we'll take you along here for some more military builds. So right here, this is the outskirts of La Desert. So this is Normandy, France, July 1944. Some really great tanks. You've got kind of the hedgerows and things that they're fighting through, burnt out tanks and shells of vehicles, things like that.
Look at all these flower stems here on the ground.
Yeah, they've got a whole tub of flower stems on the ground here.
Very nice, very nice. And this tree technique here, I want to say, was maybe not pioneered, but I want to say perfected by a builder named Tim Gold out of Australia. And it's just a wonderful technique in the fact that it allows you to sort of build an easily malleable tree. Kind of do a lot of stuff that you normally wouldn't be able to do with just your typical Lego trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so all sorts of cool details in there as well. Moving down, you've got some smaller kind of almost micro scale versions of a lot of tanks and different military vehicles and trucks, things like that. Some planes and helicopters as well. Got some King Tiger, all sorts of cool vehicles. And on the right is kind of an old ruined city. It looks like a heavily shelled out city. the Jeep going through there. Some really great torn down building work, and then that
very
tree
nice
in the
Civil
back.
War build. Very nice Civil War build.
For sure. And then in the back here, you get, this is some more, helicopters, things, different vehicles. I like the color scheme on these, kind of a different look for a lot of these types of vehicles. So kind of the brown and gray and black, which is interesting. Then this is a builder by the name of Magnus Loglow, who you might have seen our interviews with him from last year. Builds really, really cool landscaping and does kind of like wargaming on here, and has all sorts of cool details inside this big layout he does here.
Yeah, a wonderful space diorama.
And yeah, then you can see kind of the minifigs with, he's got trenches, he's got the river going through, he's got the rock work, the buildings, all sorts of cool stuff. And you can actually see Magnus right there by his build as well. Would you mind giving us a quick word on what you have display, maybe your single favorite thing you want to point out to people?
Okay, so I have a bunch of vehicles here that were not here last year. I think I promised you last year I would have like some good guy vehicles, and I do. Like the good guys have like stuff, and there's more. There are more vehicles this year. There's not any new landscape, and the other thing I want to say is there are a couple of other people who contributed as well with some other G.I. Joe vehicles, and that was really cool of them.
Okay,
so
very
maybe
nice.
more next year.
Yes, very cool. Thanks for adding some new vehicles. Appreciate it. So then coming along here, you've got some more military type vehicles. This is kind of a compound little thing here with the wall, missile launchers, things like that. Some more, you've got the trucks, Jeeps, Humvees, all sorts of cool vehicles. This is again interesting color scheme with the green, gray, and black. Kind of, these are from, I think mostly, this is a builder by Matthew Hacker is the name of this builder, and all sorts of really interesting tanks and stuff he's built here. Then here are some really awesome planes and helicopters built by a variety of builders, and basically you name the military plane, they've got it. The F-29, they've got the F-22C, King Raptor, they've got, several famous planes. Here's the F-16 Super Falcon, all sorts of really awesome planes here, and helicopters as well. So this is the Brickton Air Force Base with all sorts of Lego vehicles at it. Then we'll move down this side here. This is, again, you've got some large vendors here. So this is just the Clone Army Customs booth. Great big booth they have here. Always have some really cool products at BrickFair. So they've got all their stuff covered up, ready for the public to come in tomorrow. And as we continue down this direction, it is the very cool, this is like the Go Fish. You throw the balls in there, hope they end up in the fish bowl, and you win whatever's in there. So you win like Lego pieces and things like that. We might actually get a quick rundown of how this works. So, if you want to grab a handful, try it out here, try one or two. Try your luck at the game. See how you do. It's statistically impossible, but people continue to try it anyway. Matthew has spent many hours perfecting his game, as you can tell. He's basically a pro. They just don't want to go in today for some reason. Getting very close, very close. Oh, one actually went in. That is unbelievable. He's going to take us up close and personal there as he grabs the camera and just moves it right into the fish game to show the ping pong ball he actually got in the fish bowl on the very back row there. How he did it, we will never know. It will probably never be replicated. So how does it feel at this moment?
Well, I feel like I probably just made everyone watching this video a little bit sick because I took the camera and tried to zoom in on that, but I wasn't really looking at the viewfinder. So I feel like a little bit bad about that, but other than that, I made it in there and it feels pretty good. So there's a lot of mixed emotions right now.
It's a roller coaster around here, basically. Okay, we'll let you recover from that and then continue on down this direction and show you some more really cool creations here. This is military build. I love the trees here, kind of a different tree design. You don't see this type of tree design very often, but it gives a nice forest look. You've got kind of the bunker in the back and some rundown vehicles, military moving through, and then it looks like Citizen Brick played a part in this. Some of their pieces are in here as well. Moving on down here.
A very nice tree technique, I must say. It's something I've never really seen before, so good for them. So a little incomplete builds.
Yes, it looks like several of these are still being worked on, along with the Oreo Thins package has been heavily worked on as well, it appears.
It appears that the Oreo Thins package has in fact been worked on slightly more than the creation is sitting in front of. So here's a pro tip. Come to BrickFair, finish your creation first, then finish your Oreos. Not to admonish the builder, I myself would probably have finished those Oreos long before BrickFair even started. But hey, that's just me. We're looking at a lovely plane right now. Josh, what plane is this?
This is, according to the mock card, the RB-78 Needler, built by Tyler Haygood. He's only 14 years old, so young builder, really talented. Codenamed Project Manta. Very, very cool build. Really great way did the wings and curves and everything on that. And continuing on down this direction, some little micro tanks, and then another layout here. This is the Battle of Peleliu, World War II. So you've got kind of I believe the American amphibious landing attacking the Japanese here on Peleliu. It's an island there. So very nice. This appears to be block SWAT. If you blur your eyes, it looks a bit more tactical, is what the builder's mock card says. So kind of a blocky Lego stud version of SWAT. And if you squint a bit as you look at it, you might make it look even more tactical than it really is.
And here we have a lot of different military vehicles.
This is a lot of military vehicles, and I think that might just maybe leave it at that, because there's so many here.
Cards, and they're just no mock cards, really.
And so, I mean, we need to bring in like a historian to just give us a rundown or something on those, maybe.
And so, something I want to say about this is that I know it's a little bit blank, and I don't think it's intentionally left blank. I think it's blank because this might be like a wargaming setup. So people are doing wargaming here, and this is like the board that they're just playing on. So that's just my hypothesis. Maybe this is what they want it to look like, and this very well could be what they want it to look like. But overall, just a very nice setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and some great landscaping and things there as well. So keep on moving down this direction. You see some more of that kind of almost intentionally left blank, maybe. Some really cool war builds there. Got a kind of a helicopters action going on here. War going on with some nice landscaping, and then some more builds being worked on, it looks like, as well here, with an island and kind of tanks and things. Then down here, this is the Battle of Okinawa. So really cool kind of trench scene with the Japanese there in the trench, and then the Americans attacking. I like the way they did kind of the dark tan shell holes, and then the lighter tan for the sand as they advance. Next to that is a really interesting little Battle of Midway, but it's a version of the Battle of Midway. So what they've done here is they've got the island of Midway right there that you can see, and then the Japanese ships are in dark gray, and the American ships are in light gray, and they've made micro versions of the aircraft carriers and all sorts of the ships that were at the Battle of Midway, which is a really cool idea. So that's Caleb Dahl, I believe. Great build there. I really like the way you did that. And then coming down here, before we start this area, actually, I want to make sure we hit this square out here so we don't miss this area. This is a really, really huge train area layout. So they've got some of everything in this area. You've got helicopters, you've got the raised train track. I like the blue water tower there. So almost like a Spaceman Benny type of feel, looking at all the blue there. Nominated Best Train Town Building here is this Chop Suey building. Really cool lettering, cool awnings and things he did with that. And then these are actually all pretty unique buildings along here. These are mid-century modulars built by Doug Foreman, who's a really talented builder. And he's just got really interesting techniques he uses on a lot of his buildings that really make him stand out compared to a lot of what you usually see train displays. Then video arcade, then the back of this building, Coke Zero, kind of built into the back. Cool ones there. The Harpers Ferry train station in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Then you notice a variety of ways that these builders try to get people not to touch their bricks. There's all sorts of signs. They may make their own signs. So this is the WAMA LTC, which is the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Area Lego Train Club, WAMA LTC. They've kind of made their own signs there to tell people not to touch and things like that, just to try to protect their creations as much as possible. Love the Ferris Wheel of Love here, which is obviously the love is the theme. I really like that cool Ferris wheel there. Got a nice little small turntable. And then nominated Best Train Engine, this Union Pacific built by Zachary Reynolds. Really nice little train build there as well. Keep coming around this direction. We bring you to actually here you can see their banner, the WAMA LTC banner here for the whole lug setup. And then this is kind of the whole downtown section, a brick center, some massive skyscrapers, all sorts of really amazing builds. Some of these are super tall builds here that are in this display, and cool little modular buildings as well. And moving around here, you've got kind of a bay area, so the Maersk ships and kind of cargo ships going on there. Then moves into like an airport, kind of helipad landing area.
And so something that you might be noticing with this overall layout is that perhaps this is not like Penlug or some like club that would maybe be more focused on lots and lots of custom builds and incredible landscape builds. What I would say the WAMA LTC group, the Washington Area Lego Train Club, is more focused on is really just having a good time and sort of having a good showing, having a lot of people come out. And what you really see here is an incredibly diverse, a remarkably diverse group of people. They're just, I would say no lug really touches the amount of people that this lug is this train club is able to pull in. And it really is remarkable for that alone. And many other things. It's wonderful that they're able to have so many people contribute to a layout and have it look just wonderful. We have a downtown area, we have planes, trains. I always enjoy seeing what they come up with, and this year is no different. So wonderful stuff. And then moving along here, we have a lovely little. When I see lime green like that, I always think of Galaxy Squad. But here we just have.
I think it's some ninja creations. So it's like a whole ninja kind of area here with some mech suits and things.
And a very nice little base. So we have like a lot of interesting graphics there. So it kind of sets off the different builds. And as we see in the center, there's like a little bit of a shrine to BrickFair starting in 2010. Every BrickFair since, there's a brick there for it. So very cool. And then to the right of that, we have some chain and the toppers for all of the stanchions in the expo hall, which you can see right here. So interesting. And then continuing on, we have Western Steampunk. So a very nice little diorama layout here. It's a kind of a combination of Western and Steampunk, two wonderful little subgenres, and this is like a nice combination of the two. So as we can see, there's like a little bit of a river scene in the center there, and a lot of action going on around it. So it is jam-packed with different stuff that you can see. And then kind of moving along here, continuing with this steampunk theme, we have the HMS
Scorpion, I believe, which is a really great build. This is Joshua Brooks, who I think we've mentioned a couple times now.
The prolific Brooks family.
Many awesome creations they brought here, and so this has some great, cannon on it, and the way he did the details on the top with the tan and green and brown just blends really nicely.
Certainly. And then continuing, I think, again with the steampunk theme, this is a mock cardless creation, so we will not be able to tell you the title of it and the originator, but once again, a wonderful build in the fact that it has lots of interesting vehicles and some nice little water there. And then to the right of that immediately, we have a shark-shaped dirigible fighting a boxy mech, and this is called Levithian. inspired by the book series by Scott Westerfield. I'm unfamiliar with Scott Westerfield's work myself, but that is just a wonderful build to look at. You have never seen anything like that, especially rendered in Lego. And then coming along here, we have a wonderful use of those extra long Technic pins that are the bane of many Lego sorters' existence, and also a wonderful usage of, I believe that's a dinosaur part there in the center with a Buzz Lightyear head kind of attached to it. This is almost like postmodern Lego art, I would like to say. Very, very cool. And then that same piece that we see right here is used again right here. And then this is on a Lazy Susan like those builds we saw previously, so I will just take it for a spin. I hope Mr. Shields does not mind me spinning it around for your viewing pleasure. But as we can see, a very detailed creation, a nice circular base on a circular Lazy Susan. Very, very cool. And then continuing on here, it looks like we have another steampunk style creation. Very, very cool. Some more steampunky kind of stuff. And then we have come upon a steampunk great ball
contraption, and
something like
that.
that.
Might have seen this at. We interviewed the builders of this at Brick World Chicago, so you might check out that video on the channel if you haven't seen it. This is really awesome build. They do a great job with not only getting the ball modules and everything going, but also giving all the cool landscaping and everything.
Certainly, and this is something that at Brick World Chicago it really shows wonderfully, and it appears here that they've added some wonderful custom graphics with a little bit of a steampunk twist to it. So overall, just a wonderful sort of assortment of stuff here in the steampunk section. So it's nice that BrickFair sort of organizes all of their areas by section, so you can kind of get a sort of a smattering of the same build or the same style of build from a lot of different builders. Just really wonderful stuff. And continuing on here, we're going to make a little stop at the notorious Greater Florida LEGO Users Group train layout, and this is mostly put on by a guy named Mark Staffa and Robin Warner, both of the Tampa Bay area in Florida. And we'll just take a quick little glance around the layout to give you an idea of what it looks like. Some of, I believe those are Mark's Target builds, I want to say. Target, Lowe's, we got all the different retail chains showing up. Very, very nice. And then moving along here, we have a lovely rail yard filled with, I would say these are some of my favorite train creations in the building right now. And obviously this is more than my favorite train creation. This is Amtrak P42DC, so this is Amtrak's workhorse locomotive, but this is in anniversary paint or whatever. Just really nice. It brings a smile to my face to see this on the layout. And of course this Lego piece right here is almost too perfect because it looks exactly like the real life P42DC. So nominated for Best Train Engine. Best luck, Robin. Hopefully you will win. And Robin, I think, has another P42DC in the back in the standard paint scheme. Or another paint scheme. Very, very cool.
Before we move on, I think we should point out that awesome Princess Bride artwork that's back there that I believe was, I think, sold in the charity auction, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was. And so you can see Lego minifig versions of some of the main characters from Princess Bride. It's a really cool piece of artwork.
Definitely, definitely. It's awesome to see kind of Lego fan art like that. Really cool. And then here's a model. This was mostly, this section here that's kind of lower than the rest of the town was built by Mark Staffa, but this is New Brunswick, New Jersey, and so it looks like he's listed this whole area as a mock. So this is all New Brunswick, New Jersey, and I guess when you list this many buildings as one, I don't know if that's a thing or not. That's pretty cool. I should have thought of that myself. Good on you, Mark.
Smart thinking there.
He was nominated for Best Train Town Building. So as you can see, the Greater Florida LEGO Train Club, they really just kind of show up and they kick it out of the park. It is just awesome. So the Greater Florida LEGO Train Club / Greater Florida LEGO Users Group, very, very cool. And then moving along here, we have a wonderful gas station build here. This is just a wonderful little model of a gas station. Interesting canopy structure here. I love the sort of techniques being used to kind of allow that to render out well. And then continuing on with the theme of nationally recognized retail stores, Kroger. I believe that would be America's largest grocery store, I want to say. And then to the left of that, a lovely schoolhouse building with some really nice brickwork.
Yeah, that's really interesting brickwork. You don't see that too often. I feel like, is that just kind of tile they use to help get some of that?
Certainly, and it looks like it's been offset at a certain interval to kind of achieve that technique. Very, very cool. Some nice offset brickwork there. And then continuing on, there's a nice little house build. I believe that is a nice color of blue. I'm not going to try and name it because I don't know my colors of blue very well. I should probably learn more colors of blue. Continuing on here, we have a nice little beach scene, and as this is a group of builders from Florida, they are very familiar with beaches, and Florida certainly has plenty of them. And here we see some lovely buildings from the Tampa Bay Channel Side area. So there's Embassy Suites and some condominiums from the Tampa Bay area. I believe that those are replicas of buildings in the Tampa Bay area. And one of the things that you'll notice about this Embassy Suites building and this condo building is that they're built using kind of a Disneyland scale, is what they like to call it, where the first floor might be like real scale, and then as you get taller and taller, you just get a smaller scale going. So if you've ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, you walk down Main Street, you'll notice that the first floor is like normal human scale, but as you look up, that's kind of miniaturized. And so they've been able to do that here. And that's why this building looks great, but it's not 10 feet tall. So very, very nice stylistic decisions made there. And then continuing onwards, we have a little intermodal yard here. Very, very nice intermodal yard. And some Seaboard System locomotives in the background. Those just caught my eye. Very nice to see some heritage locomotives on the tracks here at the Greater Florida LEGO Users Group / Greater Florida LEGO Train Club layout. And then moving along, I believe we're going to take a look down here at the love tables. And love is the theme of BrickFair this year. And right here, we have a very, very nice sculpture of Rodin's Kiss. And this is a printout of the Wikipedia page for the sculpture, so you don't have to even pull out your phone to take a look at what the real theme is. Nominated for Best Theme Creation. So very, very nice. And then moving along here, we have a lovely build called All for the Love of Tacos by Alan Bernstein, 39, Tyson's Corner, Virginia. And this is a combo build, BrickFair Virginia 2015 mock from the 3 ice skater sets. Poor guy, he loves a good late night taco run, but a good thing turns, it's all bad. And so it appears that earlier this evening, this is Friday here at BrickFair Virginia 2015, we held a combo build with numerous winter ice skating sets that we were fortunate enough to receive. And so we invited lots and lots of people to kind of come out, sit down, and just kind of put together those 3 sets and do whatever they want with them. And then at the end, we had all of the people that participated in the game sort of vote on themselves to choose the best one. And so Alan was one of the participants in the game, and this is his creation. And it appears that Alan, in the interval between the end of that game and now, has been able to create a mock card for his build. So Alan, I don't know how you do it, but Alan, that is mysteriously awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, and that game was a lot of fun, and big shout out to everyone who participated in that game. We really enjoyed having you, really appreciate it. So then moving on down here, this is the Hoffman Academy, private school, so all sorts of cool little buildings are inside there. I love you, so going along with the love theme, really cool. Here's interesting. This here is motherly love. So this is actually a really incredible build of a bald eagle with its little baby.
Up?
Yeah, it's amazing there. And looks like they got a whole stand for it. This is Tristan Kane, 18 years old. So very talented builder. It's feeding its babies here. So that's really neat in the little nest. You can see the little worm in its mouth. That's awesome. Some more love-themed creations. You've got some interesting builds with like a crucifixion scene there. And then all sorts of... Moving down here, you've got Love, the Love statue. So it's an iconic love statue as seen in the JFK Plaza in the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So if you've been to Philadelphia, you might recognize that.
Very famous statue. Very, very famous statue.
And then here, I like this. This is the Beatles' All You Need Is Love. This is a Lego version of the sheet music for that song. So that's really interesting that they were able to create that and kind of make a Lego version of that. Moving on down here, Love Potion number 9. So we've got different vignettes with the different, the love potion and all of that. And then Moonrise Drive-In. Then this is A New Day, the mosaic of one of Miami pop artist Romero Brito's most famous works of art. So nominated Best of Theme, New Day. Looks like it's got all sorts of hearts and stuff, some really great colors in there, really cool stuff. For Love of Freedom, 1944, so they kind of went the military route. Two Allied soldiers paused to reflect in a small French church destroyed by the ravages of war. So just reflecting on the war there during World War II. And then great big ring, quite a large diamond. Very, very cool build there with the massive diamond ring. And down here, finish it out, the rest of Love, and we'll move on to Mindstorms here now, actually. So there's all sorts of interesting Mindstorms creation where there's actually kind of a whole arena here that they use for the Mindstorms.
And this is just a really interesting game to observe during public hours because, as you can see, there's no real barrier between the public and the game. So children are really able to get up and close with this and sort of interact with it in a way that they're not able to do with other creations in the hall. And here we see a wonderful smattering of different Mindstorms creations, lots of different functionality here. Very, very interesting choice of vehicles we see. A model here called the Morgan three-wheeler by Scott Anderson, 3050 of Alexandria, Virginia. A wonderful build indeed. And then moving it down here, we have the Ultimate Machine by John Lazar. So a wonderful little build there with hopefully lots of functionality that we will maybe find out in another video.
Possibly, yes. Very much so. And so, yeah, moving on down here, some more cool Mindstorms. And we actually have a builder still at work here late at night, putting in midnight hours. So, Joe Mino, you want to give just a quick explanation of what you're working on here?
I'm working on my goose spot right now, and right now I'm trying to debug it. Its arms aren't working.
Okay.
So it's it's a matter of taking a look at the gears, and also how the functions are working. And it looks like I have 5 functions when I'm supposed to have 6. That's the problem.
Something doesn't add up there.
Right. So I'm like, that explains it. It doesn't cycle back. So I solved the problem, but I gotta figure out if I can do it in time.
Okay. Very cool. Good luck with that. I hope you get that all figured out. So we'll keep moving down here with the rest of Mindstorms then. Some really interesting little build, Technic gear down, little operation running there. And then gonna finish out for Technic there with those builds. So I believe there are a couple other things that we missed as we went around the room earlier, a couple other squares that we did not hit, and we want to make sure we hit as much as possible. Try not to forget anything here. So we want to make sure we hit these 2 areas here. There's actually some really incredible builds in some of these areas.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little quick run around of the GBC layout here, right? We did that.
I think we hit the GBC. We did not hit this square, this square right here, which actually has what is my favorite build here at all of BrickFair. Out of all the incredible builds, I think this one is my favorite. This is the massive Battle of Waterloo build. There are, and they have a paper with the exact number, 2,134 soldiers on this battlefield, which is just absolutely insane. Column after column of soldiers here, and we made a more in-depth video with Gary Brooks, who was the builder who coordinated and did a lot of the building on this layout. It's nominated for Best Historical. You can see the farmhouse here is on fire. So many really historically accurate details. Really cool stuff in this build. The way they would get the minifig set up and everything is just absolutely awesome. And then down here you can see some Civil War builds, again by Gary and Joshua, his son. You've got the blue and the gray, and then some other interesting different Civil War builds here. This is Surrender at Appomattox, Continental Navy ship, which has some interesting sails and stuff going on there. This is the Mist Island Library. So it's a classically designed structure modeled after the library on the island of Mist from the popular video game series, whose later titles include Riven and other assorted titles. So very nice. Here is the Cathedral of the Immaculate Conception and Hagia Sophia. So, a couple buildings you might recognize there.
2 wonderful builds by Pablo.
Here's a massive tower here. This is the Campanile di San Marco.
If you've ever been to Venice, you'll know exactly what this is. This is one of the, I would say, the landmark of Venice. So just a wonderful build here. Lots of dark orange, lots and lots of dark orange. And then here we move on to the Pharaoh's Labyrinth Collaborative, I believe.
Yeah, this is the labyrinth, which you might have seen some of last year, and we were able to show some of that, but take it down here. What all do they have here? It's like they've got some interesting different passageways and things, all sorts of cool little details mixed in here, ending with the Sphinx here at the end. And you actually, I believe that Sphinx pops up and actually sings if it's turned on and everything, which is really cool. And then here's some prehistorical hunters, solitary predator. So again, the popular dinosaurs builds. A little ship there, and then here's a couple smaller builds that tie in with the Waterloo. So the Longest Afternoon book here is actually the book that they based that big build off of. Then there's Scotland Forever, and then this is the famous scene on the right here of Napoleon coming back across and gathering his troops.
And one of the best things about these builds is just their sort of tendency to include all of the other material, or like the photos and the frames and the book and the map. So you sort of get a real good idea of the origin or the source material for all of these creations. It sort of makes them pop, as it were. A lot of attention to detail. So I guess with that, we're going to make a little stop over there in Minicon real quick.
We don't want to miss Minicon. It's actually kind of in the middle of the vendors here, so it's easy to overlook, but we want to make sure we hit that here. So
we're going to make a brisk walk, and this
because they might actually be about to turn out the lights on us, and we don't want that to happen. We want to finish this for you.
Of course, of course.
So here is Minicon, and we've talked about this in past videos. You might be familiar with it. Really cool.
Come back tomorrow when it's actually set up the rest of the way.
So apparently it's not set up all of the way.
A lot of last minute work. We'll probably still be doing some setup during public hours tomorrow.
So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to do like a quick, just so you can get an idea of it. We'll probably do a video of this later on. We'll see. We'll
just do a
quick spin. Just a quick spin.
Mini tables and then mini land versions of a lot of the builders here at BrickFair.
Definitely an in-progress build. Definitely an in-progress build.
Yeah. So this is really great though, and the builders that put this together do a really good job with it. They've got the tables and all sorts of little mini land builds.
As we can see, a lovely food court right there, a very nice food court. The tabletop looks like it's sort of fallen off, but oh well. And I guess with that may or may not wrap up the duration of our BrickFair Virginia 2015 tour. So we hope you were able to get a little bit of a taste of what the expo hall was like for this convention. It's certainly a sight to behold, and we hope that if you're watching this video and you really like what you see, you might come here next year. It is awesome.
Definitely encourage you, if you ever have the chance to make it out to BrickFair Virginia, or really any LEGO convention, do your best to get there. It's so awesome. We try to show you, the best we can, all the creations that are on display and explain them to you, but really there's nothing that compares to seeing them in person. So if you ever have the chance to make it here, definitely encourage you to make it out.
Certainly.
So thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you appreciated the tour.
Thank you.